Welcome. Hello. Happy New Year. It is 2020, according to Tom. We think it might be 2023. What is time?
2020 RPG. That's what it is.
Can't do this one again. My name's Lydia, and I am going to be the DM today, as I have been for this campaign. These are my players. I mean, they don't belong to me. They are just the players.
The players.
Tom playing Hiraeth, the Fey Paladin. Yes, we are doing homebrew shenanigans with a Fey race. We have Michelle playing a human wizard, and we have Nikki playing a tiefling cleric. If you are new here, hello and welcome. We're going to do some very, very brief announcements and then a quick recap. It's not going to be that quick today. We're going to do a beefy recap so that we can jump in. If you're not new here, hello. I hope you had a wonderful festive season and a great new year. Thank you for coming back. That sounds a bit needy. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back, guys. Thank you so much. As always, really big thank you and shout out to our mods who are so welcoming and shepherding here in chat and in our Discord. We're just so grateful for everything that you do. Again, so needy.
Thanks for staying.
If you love streamed D&D games or streams discussing TTRPGs, we recommend our friends, Some Other Heroes, who have a bounty of amazing content and some really kind of cool things in store this year. So
Percolating.
So have a look at them. But if you like your D&D in a ears only sort of fashion, then we recommend Dice and a Slice D&D podcast. The D&D podcast powered by Baked Goods that features Thomas and can be found on all the good and great podcast providers.
Some of the bad ones too.
Yep, definitely
And
some of the bad ones too.
TTRPGs delivered by mouth. I've just made dice milk.
No.
So it's like oat milk, but I use dice.
How do you milk a dice? I don't want to know, actually.
Can I get a dice milk latte, please?
Well, with that, previously on the Divisia Sensus, our students joined the prestigious arcane university, the Divisia Sensus. A Fey prince here on an important cultural exchange, a local barmaid who accidentally caused an interplanar diplomatic crisis and now needs to be kept tabs on, and a lil orange tiefling who picked up an amulet of an almost forgotten patron saint and now spreads the good word of self-acceptance, compassion, and healing, as well as always being right on the verge of headbutting you at any given
Self-care
time.
is being ready to throw down at any moment.
Yeah. They share a cloister, the kind of living quarters that you have in this school, with another first year, Nevma, she, her, a half vampire rogue, and their second year mentors, Bing Bong, she, her, a chaotic goblin bard, and Pluto, he, him, a warlock. After barely settling into school, Agatha and Horiath discovered their connection, that Agatha had almost killed the powerful Fey noble and Horiath's uncle, and is the reason he's even here in the first place. Sunny discovered his patron saint, and with it, a worthy mission for the group to do, and
like it's
in
hard.
hope to win the prestigious Golden Griffin Cup. They saved a woman from imprisonment from her family and kept her there for 25 years, and they brought her to the safety of the school sanatorium. And
they saved a pig.
On a rare and treasured day off, the students went to a petting zoo on the outskirts of town, and Horiath discovered a severed arm, which led them down a dark road, a dark path of trying to uncover a serial killer who had been active in the city for a long time. In the process of doing that, they discovered a strange artifact connected to the Imperial Palace. And though they didn't manage to capture the murderer, before they fled, they did manage to uncover a lot of dark secrets to the custodial forces. And all of this is not including dates that they went on, feuds and friends that they made along the way, insects they killed, sausages that they slipped, secret societies,
No!
holy days celebrated, children punched, dogs that they saved and then gave away to old drunk George, who owns
He's
the
not
bookshop.
drunk anymore.
He's just old George.
He's just old.
Everything seemed to lead them to prom at the end of term. And so, with custom-made outfits, dates, and good food and drink in their stomachs, they went to prom and bought commemorative cups, had their picture taken, and everything was going swimmingly until Kai and Agatha had gone off to go and investigate his friend and cloister mate, Henry, a prize bastard and bully, only to be discovered by him and his date that doesn't even go here,
Doesn't even go here.
and a fight broke out. As it turns out, while Henry was on a solo mission, he contracted lycanthropy and joined a pack of werebadgers, headed up by the alpha Moral. So, while they were fighting, Kai and Agatha, the rest of the pack caused distraction to lure away the powerful faculty and started attacking all the students. Hiraeth jumped into action, drawing away as many as he possibly could in the hopes that he would go unconscious before he turned. But with so many magical students present, he was healed and therefore turned and lost control of himself to the lycanthropy.
We call that a heel turn.
Sunny and Nevma discovered the fight in the cloister and fought alongside their friends, and Henry was downed and Moral fled. Sadly, Agatha succumbed to her injuries, and Sunny did some incredible feats to find a way to bring her back within a minute of her going down, calling on his classmate Johnny Beanbone for the assist.
The greatest magic of all is friendship.
So, we talked a little bit about what happened next, but we're going to recap a little bit of that stuff as it was late and we were all a little bit shell-shocked. But here are some of the things that we already do know that happened. All the injured students were taken to the sanatorium until a cure could be found. The clerics and priests were bringing some students back to life. Sunny gifted Johnny Beanbone some pottery supplies from this mysterious neighbour of the Fife Fields, and they met the Master of Shifting, Master Milaros, who mounted an expedition to find the cure for this variant of lycanthropy. With that said,
Nikki, slip the sausage.
roll the thing. In the heart of Mar Idia, looking over the glittering city of Solarea, is the world's finest centre of learning, the Divisia Sensus. For centuries, this school has hosted the rich and influential and the greatest minds to have ever lived. Geniuses, leaders, holy figures, and legendary adventurers all had their start here. Though the school is built on old foundations, you won't find more advanced facilities for the arcane, alchemical, artistic, or academic, all behind powerful wards. The Divisia Sensus has the finest and most comfortable sanatorium in the known world. We pride ourselves on the care we give to those whose encounter with magic ended with a broken mind. Each year, we instruct students from far and wide in their chosen subjects and the rigours of life at the pinnacle of their field. There is no greater, safer, or more prestigious environment in which to receive an education. Lady Sophronia Apissimos, High Master of Divisia Sensus, welcomes you. Agatha.
Oh no.
You are standing in the corridor where there are doors to all the cloisters. You see Nevma running towards you, sprinting, her black dress whipping behind her. Yeah, you smile, you wave at your best friend, but she runs straight past you. And you immediately see Sunny right behind her, running as well. And you go to ask Sunny, what happened in the cloister? Did you defeat Henry? But then Sunny runs straight through you. through your incorporeal body.
Oh, no.
You turn to see them looking at your broken, dead body. They are crying and screaming and trying to work out what to do. Spells, diamonds, speed. Nevma is cradling you in her arms, and Sunny is trying to push back his terror and sadness to calculate how can he save his friend. And as you see him begin to cast a spell, locate object, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Oh.
And you look up to see a perhaps 10-foot being of supreme beauty and power. You know this face. The high bone structure, the long, shining hair, the emerald eyes, the broad, muscled shoulders. Hello. Remember me? You are looking now at the spirit form of that fae that you pulled into this existence all those months ago.
Agatha just like backs away from them a bit. It's like, hi.
It seems that we are destined to only meet in the gravest of situations.
What's going on?
Yeah, your eyes are like drawn back to the events unfolding. Time seems to have like slowed down a little bit, and you see Sunny is like magically communicating to someone that you can't see. Nevma is like wiping away a loose strand of hair from your bloodied face, and this tall being just puts their arm out towards you and says, "Don't watch. You can't help from here. Believe me, I've tried."
What's happening? Like, why are you here? Like, did I do it again?
No. He's still got his like arm out to kind of bring you forward, away from like the kind of slow motion unfolding of events that Sunny and Nevma are doing.
Can I make an insight check? Agatha's just scared, and like obviously it's like, this is a scary person, or like at least this is like having a scary friend and then meeting their parent. You're like,
It's very close.
11.
This person is, I mean, 11's not great, but that's understandable in these circumstances.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that really strikes you about this being right now is that the last time that you saw this person, they were screaming out in rage at you and trying to attack you or thrash out at anything. They were so full of anger and pain. And now the way that this being looks at you is with deep, deep compassion.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, she'll take a step towards him.
And you are kind of brought close, and you can feel actually just kind of standing in the personal space of this sort of spirit, the great power that is held within this person. And he just keeps hold of your hand, like takes it in both of his, and says, "My name is Abathol Gable Agvi."
Hi, Abathol. Sorry, what's your middle name?
Gable.
Gable. Are you Hiriath's uncle?
I am.
Okay.
Starts to kind of walk you away from the scene.
Okay.
And actually kind of walks you straight through a wall.
Oh.
And you're kind of walking alongside a lot of the other ghosts that are in the school, now much more vibrant to you than they ever were when you were
Alive.
I've had one foot in a few different places since that day. I've seen a great many things. I have been an observer here and there.
Wait. Is a part of you still, like, trapped here? Or can you leave? Oh.
He begins to, like, raise his hands and starts to kind of conjure these images, wispy, desaturated, and they start to light up around you. It seems that a part of me, my physical being, is left in my homeland, and I see my family care for my catatonic body. And there's a picture of him, life-size, you know, this isn't a kind of minor image thing. He's actually kind of like laying out in front of you a scene. There's a picture of his form in this beautiful bed of creamy satin sheets with 3 fey beings around him. But much of my spirit did not fully return. Because of my connection to you, I was halted in the ethereal plane, watching over the person who summoned me. Most unusual.
Yeah.
And he kind of shifts that scene of him in bed, and you're almost sort of moved through the room to look out through the window of that bedroom down to the front of this incredible palace, and you see the image down in the front of the house of a fey male with long green hair with elaborate plaits and robes of rich gold and bronze embrace his 3 children and step into a carriage drawn by no mounts. I saw my brother leave to discuss the events, and I saw your terrible anguish as your future was passed around like a baked potato that you mortals are so fond of. And then he is like, he kind of gusts away that scene, and he conjures this new scene, which is of you sitting on your bed, arms wrapped around your knees, terrified. And on the other side of your bedroom door is Lady Sophronia Epissimos in the Apennine, with Tracy guarding your door, giving them absolute fucking hell.
Oh, Mama Tracy.
I saw you meet my dear, dear nephew, now a man. And again, you see that first day in the cloister when Hiriath accidentally asked you to make his bed.
Yep, remember that.
And then quickly again, you see Hiriath walking with you to class, and talking to you, and you just blushing so hard and hardly being able to like answer. And then you see that terrible argument when the truth came out. You see Hiriath fighting with Sunny and the rest of the gang in the Orthonos house. You see Hariath fighting by your side against the ghosts. You see yourselves all lined up for your prom picture just a few hours before, and Hariath handing you a cup.
Oh.
Look, we don't have much time. Your friends will either succeed or not. And you'll have to make a choice. I'll be here with you, whatever choice you want to make. But should you find a way back to your life, I'd ask you to take back this information with you.
Yeah, anything. Oh, yeah.
I can't recover on my own. I need help.
Okay.
I need someone to bring my spirit and mind back to my body. I need somebody to gather all the other parts of me from where they're scattered.
Okay. And are you here in the ethereal plane, or like others?
I'm here, and a part of me is with you.
Oh. Can I... Yeah. Okay.
I mean, maybe if you go back, you will have shed me. Maybe, I don't know.
Can you like give me some sort of sign if like you are still here? I don't know if you can do anything like that. But
I haven't wanted to meddle too much because it feels intrusive.
I appreciate that.
But I'll try if you're happy for me to try.
Yeah. And I'll get the others together, and we'll, if and she just takes one glance back. Like if they save me, and if I get back, I'll do whatever to help you. I'll do whatever to save you. I promise.
Thank you. I've been given a great perspective in this time. I've seen a lot that I didn't see before. I wouldn't.
Agatha just blushes, like thinking, like, "Oh God, what's he seen?"
I wouldn't wish our circumstances on anybody, but it has gifted me with knowledge, perspective that I have not had in countless cycles.
Well, I'm glad there's a silver lining to it, I guess. Not everything can be terrible, right? There's got to be some good somewhere.
Mortals.
Just baked potatoes.
Just baked potatoes and hope.
Yeah. I think that's what we are, yeah.
Look, it's almost time for you to make a choice. He sort of gently leads you back through into the corridor. And you can see Johnny stumbling forward with Nevma is pushing him, trying to make him go faster, and Sunny is casting lesser restoration on him and handing him the diamond hand. Is there anything else that you want to talk to me about?
Two things. What I just want to say, I'm from the bottom of my heart, I am truly sorry.
Agatha, I know.
Okay.
You're dripping with it.
Okay.
You've got to let it go.
I mean, I guess I can now I've seen you. I feel like you're the only person who can give me that permission, but do you want me to say anything to Hariath? Or do you think it's better I don't say anything?
Hiraeth has become something I could never have anticipated. He is more powerful and kind and a better leader than I could have ever seen in him. But then the last time I saw him, he was a precocious little wee brat.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
The Hiraeth that I see through your perspective, I'm proud to be his uncle.
Cool. I'll tell him that. I think that's a nice thing.
Well,
okay.
Good luck, Miss Fifield. You fought valiantly tonight. Everybody did.
Yeah.
You and your friends, you've taught me a great deal about mortal bravery and resilience.
Yeah, I don't know if it was stupid or bravery, but I don't think they're actually that different. It's just whether you succeed or not, whether it's bravery or stupidity.
It's true.
Um,
Okay. You see, at this moment is like the slow motion moment where Johnny is like slamming the diamond down on your chest and, speaking prayers out to Panlar as this explosion of blue is happening.
I'm just like, wince and like look at him like, hope this works.
He's like still holding your hand, like he's with you every step of the way. And he, just before you go, he goes, "Oh, and don't be afraid of that familiar of yours. You're letting him walk all over you." And then you are brought back into your body.
And then knocked out.
And then punched.
Sonny never gets what.
Cool. Hiraeth.
Hi.
You are so far inside yourself that the events happening in the Great Hall, the chaos, the fighting, the screaming, seem so far away. What feels to you in this place feels to you like you've sunken into this dark, warm void. You sense the moon, a formidable, all-seeing force looming over you, pushing you deeper and deeper away from the Great Hall, away from those terrible events. You hear the voice of the Alpha instructing you to turn as many students as possible and then to get out alive, like this sort of booming voice from the next room, getting a little bit fainter and a little bit fainter as you let yourself drift back into this dark void. Even as you begin to see the faculty come into the space and sort of take control, just happening so far away. This tiny little kind of window, way away that you can barely even see. But you are not alone in this dark place. You sense the presence of others here. What do you do?
I tried to reach out as as hard as possible, whether that's physically or mentally, whatever it is. I'm trying to reach someone. Hello, is anyone there? Can anyone hear?
Go to speak. You realize that you have no mouth. You are a thought. You are a consciousness. You try and become aware of what you are here, and all you can make out is this swirling mote, indigo and gold, spiraling together. And you reach out to try and sense out into this darkness, into this warm, inky kind of void, and you come across someone. When you're communicating, it's like when you've replied to message you're sending, it's thoughts rather than anything else. Can you please roll for me a D8?
Of course. That's a 5.
What you hear back and what you find yourself near is a deep emerald roiling kind of moat of energy. And the voice that comes back is the gentle lilt of someone who I'm actually not sure if you even know their name. They are called...
Is it Belinda? Sorry.
They are called... You slept with Amber, so that's a great start. This is Sasha, who was Mal's date to the petting park. And they are... there is this kind of flash of savage fury at being like having their body taken from them, and a kind of, you kind of see it in the way that the moat is like almost slashing about with this like temper that's happening, and they start to speak to you. Who's that?
It's Hariath.
God, fuck. What the fuck happened?
I think we're trapped.
How in the fuck did badgers get into the fucking prom?
Gotta be honest, I'm glad that you're as surprised as I am, because I thought this might have just been a thing that happens here, but...
Sasha starts to like tell you their like events of the evening, like you start kind of exchanging like information, but you get this sense that it's not just you two. Mm-hmm. There are more people. Do you continue to reach out as you're exchanging?
Yeah, I think as we're talking, I'm just kind of like I'm imagining like the light flowing from me, like hair in a my hair in a pool kind of thing, and just sort of trying to bring people in. And as I am, I'm thinking of comforting thoughts that I have myself of hugging my friends, and of Spria, and of forendring, and those kind of really lovely thoughts, just trying to bring people in. I know how rough I'm finding being not being able to control my own body, or not being able to sort of fully function. So it's just those thoughts are just sort of sending out, and whenever I sort of connect to someone, if I know them, I try and sort of like emanate a thought of us together, and just sort of like bring people in, just so that we have almost like a huddle around a campfire kind of vibe.
Incredible. Those like indigo curls of like tendrils of hair reach out and curl around another moat and bring you into this huddled like collection. Here's a few people that there's some people that you don't know so well, but there is Bryn, Pierre, that good old friend of yours, Pierre.
Good old Pierre.
Dickon.
Buddy.
Prime, the Tabaxi.
Yeah.
Prime Horizon. Sebastian. Blanche Bonneville. And Kai. And these little motes, blue, tawny, white, orange, these different like motes of consciousness all hover together. And what's interesting is as you exchange your version of events, or there's some anguish people like Prime starts talking about their experience, and as they're talking you see through their like little tiny window. You see Prime being fought off by their cloister mate Corner and Udon, who are like bleeding and frightened, and you sense Prime is like so upset and aghast at what's happening and sort of huddles back into you for like comfort.
Yeah, I just breathed that very first time that we met over to him, and the sort of chatting about hot sauce with Udon, and just sort of like emanating those kind of happy feelings and happy thoughts. And just I think if there's any possibility of being able to kind of direct things quietly to other people, I do just say, just hold on to those thoughts. This will be over. It'll be over soon.
Kai, that blue moat. This is my fault. I should have seen this. He's my cloister mate.
No one could have seen it.
I'm a fucking liability, Ariath. I could have hurt Agatha.
I think I take a minute and again emanate the thoughts of just all of the times that Hariath has been sort of quietly watching those two and their interactions. Those first the first couple of days where all we saw was the braggadocio kind of all bluster and all kind of swagger, where Hariath felt protective over this new friend, all up until those sort of like looks between each other of just adoring kind of feelings. And I just say, buddy, I don't think you could hurt her. You haven't hurt her.
I ate her cat.
When did that happen?
It was just so quick.
Honestly, that's neither here nor there in this moment. Pal, no one could have seen this coming. I promise you. You don't need to apologize for this. You don't need to apologize for anything.
Thank you. And you finally, you feel something begin to pull taut. It's like there's always been this kind of pressure in this dark place, but now this void is like being pressed in even more. Everyone feels it. Every mote of consciousness begins to kind of like, it's almost like that light is being dimmed a little bit. And that voice from the next room calls again and says, help me. If anyone is still up, come to the front of the school. I can't hold out much longer. And you see actually through Kai's eyes, he like projects it out so that people can see through his window. And you see that it is Kai who is kind of like one of the last badgers standing. That blue badger running through the halls of the school, because everybody who was in the main part obviously was put to sleep. And he is bounding out through the main entrance, and it's like he is then held in a spell as soon as he exits through the door. And you just see through his eyes, he watches that final fight between Master Finn, the Triton Master of Credence, your teacher, and Moral. The teacher is slashing out with a long sword that glows in the light of the moon, and each slash leaves this like line of like glowing moonlight in its wake across the front of Moral, the Alpha. And finally you hear Finn say, that's a ballsy move, coming to this place and trying to make a pack from the cream of Iridian talent. Very ballsy indeed. But let me tell you, you hairy shitstick, you messed with the wrong school, and like kicks hard against Moral, sending her flying back onto the ground, and then she leaps through the air and impales her with the longsword, moonlight bursting out of Moral's chest. And that tension that you felt, that pressure all around you, it finally snaps like a twig. And when you next come to consciousness, you are sleeping on a cot in the sanatorium. Around you, the room is simple, but you have your potted plant and little Gerald and a nice blanket, and you're wearing a pair of very roomy shorts. And there are little bits and pieces from your... Listen, I just rewatched the episode and there was a long conversation about shorts, so I just had to remember it in. And there's some other nice little knickknacks from your room. But you are still connected to all of those motes, including Agatha. It's like, because you still have lycanthropy, you don't have an alpha anymore, so you can't share thoughts, but it's like you could say which room has which person in it. And there are some people that you felt like you didn't know before, and you might not know the facts of their life, but you know them. You know those people now. So, with that done, as we said last time, you guys are, I know I said you were sharing rooms, but I think if I'm thinking more practically about it, it's kind of a long corridor of rooms, some of which have like, how I've described when Agatha has had her SAN club, that some of the rooms have like reinforced glass fronts, and some of them are like all glass walls. They're all of the rooms are slightly different, but you've basically got a corridor all sort of dedicated to the people who contracted lycanthropy at the prom. You guys are next door to each other with like a window. You can kind of chat and talk whenever you want. And the sort of setup is a little bit like, there's sort of like very quickly a rota is set up where some of your doors get open so you can like socialize and walk through the hallways and stuff like that. But all the doors are never open all at once, just in case you all turn and barge the doors down, and there's another kind of takeover.
Two at a time. Two people could be released at one time.
So it's this weird thing of like, now that you're in your bodily forms again, but it's this weird, I mean, poor Agatha didn't get to be a moat because she had a very different experience, but you have this thing of like, oh hey, blue moat or tawny moat, or like this experience of this deep understanding that you have for one another, and a weird kind of affection for each other that you maybe didn't like have before. So with that said, what kind of things happen in that time? I mean, I think we can kind of say that moment where you gave Kai the ring can have happened while you were still locked up together.
Yes, yeah. It would have been the same thing, but yeah.
And I think, he would have found it quite hard. I think he would have talked to you quite a lot about just, he's having a wobble.
Yeah.
About even being at school.
Right. Okay. Let's think this through. Okay. Like, you can't make it your fault because Henry wanted to blame you or blame me or blame everyone around him for his life being shit. Like, you can't put that on you.
Right, but also, bad shit just always happens when I'm around.
I mean, I don't think that's you. I think that's going to a school where a third of the students die. I think, look, you're pretty great, but alright, the world doesn't revolve around you, Like, bad stuff happens.
What?
I know, devastating to hear, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I need to have a lie down after that. I
understand
cannot conceive.
Yeah, no, I know. We don't need to cross that bridge right now, but what are you going to do? Go shut yourself away?
Well, it's going to be quite difficult to negotiate with Mother from now on because she's still here. I mean, she was treated. She's in the city. She's not going to go home anytime soon. But
why?
It's like ammunition for her argument.
What is her argument?
That I should follow her instruction a little more. Things would go wrong a little less.
Right. Okay. That logic just doesn't make sense, though, does it? Because...
Well, I if I was following her instruction, I never would have been arrogant enough to sneak books out of the school. And if I was following her instruction, I'd still be friends with Henry.
Okay, so you'd still be friends with Henry, and Henry wouldn't, turn everyone into badgers. Okay, but you'd be a dick, and I'd be stuck at the Apony, and I wouldn't be learning magic, and I wouldn't have met my friends, and, I quite frankly, I think that cloister's lucky to have me, because everyone else in there is a state. That cloister was always messy, but they've got me now. So, yes, I'm sure that would have been better for your mother.
Agatha, are you doing all the housework in the cloister? I thought you were past this.
And look, it's just...
Please let the staff do it. That's what, you can't keep doing their laundry.
I don't do their laundry. I'm just saying. Also, I'm not having staff like do my laundry. I can do my own laundry. Do you just have staff do everything for you?
Yes, but if you let them wash your sheets and your clothes, that gives you an extra like 45 minutes of homework time. Like that's why we have staff here. That's why we pay astronomical fees, is so that every moment of the day can be dedicated to our academia.
I just stopped sleeping. I thought.
Right. Do you see how, yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. Anyway, maybe that's something I can work on. We're not talking about me right now, though. But like, I don't know. I've thought about it a lot as well. I get it because I had a similar thought of, it's my fault. But
Wait, what? How is it your fault?
well, I lured you away with my charms, and so then suddenly Henry didn't have a
You
friend.
truly are a siren.
I know, and it's all natural as well. Don't know how I did it, but
Potent.
yeah. But look, I can't blame. Henry did this, and that beautiful evil woman did this. Like, I can't. What are you saying though? Are you like cool? You're just gonna do what your mum tells you now? Because like.
No, I really couldn't. It's just going to, the friction was already pretty rotten between us, and I don't really, it's just going to be harder, isn't it? When you don't have the argument of like, but I've got perfect grades and I'm never putting a foot wrong and my way is my way.
But you've not put a foot wrong. You have got like perfect grades, and you've not put a foot wrong. Henry put his whole ass wrong.
Yeah.
You can't take the blame for that. Like, you just can't.
Mm. All right, well, yeah. Well, how looking back on your first term, what's your, do you love it?
Oh, it was so much fun. Prom was a little boring until that happened, so yeah. First term, yeah. All things considered, quite eventful, and I think not just quite eventful for me, more than just a regular student. I think.
You're now a ward of the Queen, no less.
Yeah.
Stratospheric, some people might call that.
See, it's that charm I have.
Even the Queen was lured by your siren call.
There's got to be something there, because I don't know.
The world will be at your feet come third year.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, is it always like this? Is this like a normal first year? Is this stuff
Well,
normally
I
happen
was
at prom?
going to say that it wasn't, but then I remember that in my first year, there was like a battle under the school. And then I remember this moment when this gold dragon like flew towards the school, and then like all the students were like didn't know what to do, and there were a bunch of students who didn't know about like the colors and stuff of dragons, and just started like firing at this gold dragon like it was going to attack. And then like all the teachers were then like extremely angry at the students. They were like, it's a fucking gold dragon, that you don't attack a gold dragon. That's actually like a patron of one of the students, so like just fucking get off.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah.
George came running in saying there was a dragon, and I looked out and I saw a bird, and I was like, sure, George.
Oh, George.
Yeah.
Well, George has been so misunderstood in so many ways.
Yeah, now I'm just questioning everything he's ever told me,
He's a good guy. When we had that like weird like date at his,
which was weird, yeah.
he made some half decent sandwiches.
Yeah. There was bread.
Yeah. It didn't give me a stomachache.
No.
Which I thought it would. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy.
Oh my god, the trial. Isn't that starting soon? For your reference, seeing as
Yeah.
we've seamlessly segued.
Today. Now.
Oh shit.
An hour's time.
Actually, that's interesting because prom was the first. I feel like the second was like a day of like decompressing and everybody reeling and working out what to do. So this would be the third, which is in fact the day that the trial starts.
Oh god.
Sunny and never going by themselves.
So here's the thing. Let me just unless there was anything else you were going to importantly.
There wasn't anything important. There was the only thing I was gonna say was does Kai know? Does anyone know that Agatha died apart from like the people involved, or is this like a?
You would have needed to tell anybody in San.
I would have.
Then please do imagine that before the conversation that you just had with Kai,
Yeah.
there was an awful lot of just holding you and like making sure that you're like all right before he has his fucking existential
Yeah.
crisis.
We did all that. Yeah. There was just yeah.
Yeah. And you know, he apologized for eating your cat and
It's fine. I met Horace's uncle and he told me that I shouldn't let him walk around over me. Yeah, that's a whole thing that I do want to tell you about, but I feel like I have to talk to Horace about it first.
Right. Okay, let's just quickly let me just give you the information about
Yes.
the trial, and then we can go back to these other little like implanted RP moments. Because you would have received a missive, all of you, whether you were people who were watching Shrek 2 or in the sand.
You watched Shrek 2 without us?
Every day in class.
I don't think that's how sneak classes go. I can't see. I think sneak are like they're working until the very fucking last day. But clerics, somebody's reading the book of the tome, the well-thumbed tome of Shrek 2.
In my head, it's a case of, well, all of you surviving did a lot of clericing, so
Yeah.
I think you've passed the first term. I think you're good.
You're set. But you will have got a missive wherever you are saying that basically this he today is the first day of the trial of Jerome Orthonos, and he has already pleaded innocent. So the first day will be opening statements. The following days will then be given all like the evidence, and then it's witnesses. And their first option, I think they said this when you spoke to Yehimini, their first option was that they wanted it to be Agatha and Hariath as the main witnesses. They could call other people, but the two kind of important ones was to have one person who was inside the mirror and one person who like broke into the house, and then you two are like, for your different reasons, because one's a Fey Prince and one's a local, have like that kind of like the jury will really like you. But if it happens that they've like billed you last to try and give you an opportunity to get out of San and be like not a were-badger, but if it happens that like they've got no one else to call and you're still there, then they're going to call Sunny and Nevma.
Oh no.
And Nevma's a little bit like, I like don't want to go in front. I don't like being seen by anybody. So please, can you just take the fucking potion already? But it's that everyone's a little bit on edge, just like hoping that everything's going to work out okay.
Cool.
And Sunny, do you think that you guys go and like experience a bit of the trial while they're stuck in?
I mean, if Nevma doesn't want to, then I won't make Nevma go.
Oh, she just doesn't. She'd rather not be a witness.
Yeah,
She doesn't
no,
want to.
I mean, separately from that piece of information, if that's something she doesn't want to do.
Oh no, she is very into.
In
watching.
which case, you know, I like maybe after or before I do one of the things I message you, like Sunny's gone. Oh, there's a chance that I'm the main witness, and has like gone. Right, I can't just be nice because also I'm the guy that nearly killed this guy. So actually, I need to.
You also nearly seduced the housekeeper. Like, there's a whole bunch of like information.
Like Sunny is like at risk of being. Sunny is super personable, which is great, but also has the most going against him.
Yeah.
Is he a criminal? Yeah. Oh, this is the guy that killed me. Oh, fuck.
Couple of bad questions and you're headbutting the judge as well. If it was Judge Judy, you'd probably end up headbutting.
So, yeah, I think there is to get a vibe. And also, I imagine it's information that Agatha and Horiath want. So it would be to get some of that and pass on just kind of...
I mean, the halls of justice are actually like a collection of like small halls that are like have this like annexed courtyard in the middle. So the front of the halls of justice are like, they have 2 doors either side that lead to chambers, and then one big gate in the middle that leads to this courtyard where people kind of mill about in this like open air bit with like a fountain dedicated to Panlar, the goddess of truth, and benches and the vine covered like pillars. And then people queue by the doors of the different halls depending on what it is that they want to go and like experience the trial of. And this case is a really big case, so there's a big crowd and a big queue to go in and watch the Orthonos trial. And yeah, it's... Nevma kind of loves this shit in the way that she fucking loves economics. She loves the real crunch of... Like, she could listen to Yehimini all day. She sees that slow talking as the tactic that it is. Like, there's a lot of lawyers out there who have a genuine vocal tactic of being that slow and boring.
It's the only reason I can't commit a crime.
That's the only reason. And she loves it. And I think there's like, you'll be like walking back and you'll be like so glad to be able to like stretch your legs and like get the blood moving again. She's like, oh my God. And then do you remember this bit? And it's like, blah, 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 blah. And the jury is made up of like a few like carefully selected, it's half carefully selected people and half jury duty randos. That sounds rude. You know what jury duty is. I don't need to explain it. We have it in the real world.
It's not rude. That's how it is.
Yeah,
randos feels a bit. Anyway. Okay, so...
Is anyone in the jury that we know? Because I think that would be key information. Or like, if there's anyone that I've got like a rough, like, oh, I think they work in this shop, or like, they look a bit like this, to see if Agatha can be like, oh, I know that person. Or like...
You're going to do a little bit of jury tampering?
Not tampering, but just like, so that Agatha can like... formulate an approach as in I'm going to be a lot less aggressive because these people have always been really shitty to my family, or like my family don't go on with their family, so I need to, you know, be really the victim in this situation, sort of thing, even though she is definitely the victim.
You don't recognize anybody.
Cool, sick.
But there's like, I mean, the actual kind of chamber is very beautiful, and the it's like paneled with this pale wood around the room, and once the crowd kind of filter in and the jury is seated, the like justice walks in, which is a dwarven woman with like dark markings across her face and black and blue robes, who is actually kind of a powerful, intimidating force in the room and command, as I think like all judges do whenever they walk into the room. Like there's a sort of natural like oh, fuck moment. So I'd say that you're sort of fitting those in around classes because you only have 2 more days of term after that. So it's just
Oh,
3
you
more
gotta
days.
catch up.
Only 2 more days of Shrek.
You gotta squeeze Shrek the Third in.
How many more Shreks can you fit in to 3 days?
What about Shrek the Halls?
And Shrek 4? Shrek the Fourth? I don't know what that one is. I can't remember.
Shrek Forever After.
Shrek Forever After. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Well done.
Is that one?
Yeah,
Anyway, we don't
that's
need.
Shrek 4 Ever After. It's not as good as the others.
What other things are people doing in this time? Like, is there anything else that's happening while you're in? Yes.
I mean, almost immediate, like not immediately, but like the beginning of the second day, like when Agatha gets a conversation with Haraya, she works up the courage. You know, she's like, does the whole like, how are you doing? Are you all right? Like, are you okay?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Yeah,
You got bit.
I got bit, and I bit and I bled a bit too much. Okay. So. Okay, don't freak out or anything, yeah? But, like, I died for, like, a minute. Sunny got me. Johnny Beeman brought me back. I'm fine. But right, focus. Important information, though. Important information. I spoke to your uncle. Like, he was with me when I was, like, dead. Because his soul is trapped here. Like, part of me... Like, don't... I swear it's a good thing, though. Like, not really. We're cool. I apologise. And he was like, it's chill. He didn't really say that, but... we need to get his soul and bring it back to the Feywild. Part of it's within me. I don't know if we just need to take me to the Feywild, like he showed me his body in bed back at the Feywild, which is wild, by the way. Like, I just got a glimpse at it. It's so bright. Like, I didn't think those colours existed. Sorry, this is a real lot of information. And I'm just panicking a bit. But yeah, he's with me.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not sure I want to take you to the Feywild. Just now,
Well, no, we got the trial and stuff, and
I mean, besides that.
yeah. Maybe it's not just me. Like, he said there's parts like he's sort of scattered. Like his soul is, some of it's I think on the ethereal plane, some of it's, but like I think all of it's like linked to me somehow.
Right.
So maybe there's some way he might be able to communicate.
Okay.
Through me or to me or something. But but Harif, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It means we can help him.
No, it's good. It's good. This is a lot to take in.
He also said he's really proud of you.
Yeah.
And that you used to be a bit of a little shit or something, but you're really cool now.
He's not wrong. Thank you for telling me.
It's alright. I thought about maybe waiting to tell you and trying to formulate some better way of saying it, but I just thought everything that's happening, I'd rather just give you the information and...
No, I appreciate that. Gods, does it sometimes feel like we're given a lot? We're given a lot to do.
Yeah. Beanbone says Pelor gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Beanbone doesn't take off his shoes.
I know.
Some battles are too hard to fight.
Hey, I'm glad you're okay,
Thanks.
and I'm sorry I wasn't there.
It's
to help.
fine. Like it's not your fault. I'm sorry. What happened to you sounded really scary and horrid, and I should have told you we were going, but
No, it's fine. You know, we all just became hairy shitsticks.
yeah, I
And
never
that
got
was-
to turn, which I'm quite happy about because I watched Kai turn and it looked quite unpleasant.
Yeah. How is Kai doing?
I think he's sort of blaming himself for it all, which
Yeah.
it's obviously not his fault.
Yeah, I told him. I told him the same.
Oh, good. Yeah. And yeah, now his mum's just going to be like even worse because she's going to be like, see, if you listened to me, this wouldn't have happened. And I told him that's stupid because it's like, what, does she make Henry wear badges into the school? In which case, then that's a bit shit on her. Or did she know that was going to happen?
I mean, did she? Can we figure out whether she did? Because then we've got a reason to,
A reason to...
you know?
I don't think we can... Kai's mum. Unless.
Listen,
we shouldn't.
I thank you for telling me about my uncle. And I think once the trial is over, or maybe before, we speak to some of the professors. I don't know who. I have no idea who, but see if they can give us any information about how to capture a soul. I mean, gods. Hey, whilst I have you,
Yeah.
I have a little proposition to make.
Oh. Really do have charms. Sorry, what?
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
And
I just got this image of you talking through your little window hatch, and you can only really see the top of Agatha's head, and sometimes it just dips down.
Oh, I do have charms. And I essentially I say, hey, listen, we have all been through a really awful thing.
Yeah.
What better way to get over that than make a little club? Can I get your help in making badges? Badger badges. From now on, I'll speak to the others as well to see if they're okay with it. But
yeah, because
from now on,
thing, I don't want Sunny and Neville to feel left out. On the other, we all feel.
I mean, for sure, them too. Of course, them too. I was kind of meaning the other Badgers. This could have been quite a traumatic time for them, and I don't want it to leave a stain.
Just a badge.
But what if we're just the little shit sticks, the hairy little shit sticks? I mean, it's a working title.
Yeah,
it's a working title.
We can work on it. I think it's good to gather the people who were affected in that way.
For sure.
And maybe just have conversations. I do think it's good.
That's what I mean.
Okay, I just think if we go start making badges, and t-shirts. It'll become a bit like a club that, you know, we don't want anyone feeling like, oh, I didn't get bit, I just got knocked unconscious, or like,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Or
something-
in fact, I got bit and all I got was this lousy badge.
Oh,
And I
it
think
would be good.
you just hear like a pencil scratching out about 3 sort of lines on a notepad just underneath.
Right, I'll ask Nevma and Sunny if they can bring me my embroidery kit, and I'll make start on a patch.
Sebastian definitely wants a secret handshake. Good stuff. Anything else?
I think pretty rapidly, once things are like plateaued a bit, in the chaos, as in everyone was in the sand and stuff like that, and I think Sunny would have gone to go and see the Fifields.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say after work, do you take, do you go on your own? Do you take Nevma?
I would think Never if Never wants to go, but like I'm not.
Nevma's not going to turn down a chance to see Pete.
Keeps bees.
Beaky
Never drinking Pete, he's a dance machine.
Yeah, you two go after classes one day, and
I can only watch the first 45 minutes of Shrek so many times.
they never like pick up where you left off. They just start again.
Like every time.
Fucking hell. It is a pretty regular day. You know, this is not really an establishment that fluctuates much with term times, so it's a pretty normal afternoon, quite quiet.
All the other taverns are like, where is everyone? And these guys are like, everything's fine.
And there is Pete just like changing over one of the kegs of mead for one of the new flavors.
What is it?
Caramel.
Oh,
Yeah. It's better
he's
than
getting the hang of
It's
it.
thick.
It's better than like cheesecake or
He
something.
opens the tap and it comes out like frosting.
Wait, no. I think I'm more on board.
But
Yeah.
not as a drink anymore.
Like it might have to come with a spoon.
Yeah, but like, it's just going to taste like butterbeer,
I don't know what butterbeer tastes like.
caramel and beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro me.
Butterbeer. Yeah, I think Sunny's going to go in and say,
Right.
Hi Tracy, you got a minute?
Yeah.
Do you want to sit down?
What? Oh my god, what's happened?
Right,
oh
we're
my
just-
fuck. Oh fuck, what's happened?
Can we
Oh
sit
my
down?
God.
Right, Agatha is fine. Can we sit down?
All right, Mel, look after the bar. And they like move out. Mel's immediately tutting so fucking loudly.
Hi Mel.
Fuck off. And
Hi Mel.
you sit down at like a large round table in the middle, and they're like perched forward. All right, just say it real quick because I just say it so quick.
Tracy, we're just gonna take a minute. We're gonna calm down. I'm gonna tell you the story backwards, so you know how it ends first. Okay?
This is not a play.
It's
Just
not-
say just.
What place? Go backwards, Tracy.
There's a load of different plays that go, but I don't need it to be staged.
Right.
Just tell me, is she dead?
No, I just said she's fine. Agatha, she's in the sanatorium.
Oh
but
God, she's gone
but
mad,
she's
isn't she?
Okay, and she's not gone mad. Okay, they're working on a way to make her better.
Right.
Okay,
Wait, she's not better yet.
she's not better, but she's not mad. As in, like, she's not going to get locked up forever. Like, it's a thing that can be fixed. Right?
Right. Right.
Okay.
What happened this time?
Right, no, Tracy.
It's one thing or another, isn't it?
No, it's not, Tracy. It's not. It's just sort of sometimes stuff happens. which is really a metaphor for life if you think about it. You know, so she's in the sand. She's okay. They're going to make her better. She's not staying there forever. She's currently a were-badger. And yesterday she died.
Tracy immediately starts crying.
Fuck. Right. She's okay. She's okay. She's okay. She's back to life. It's fine. And
Our little girl died. She
died. For less than a minute.
Oh my God, we didn't pay for any of the things because we didn't have no money.
Tracy, it's fine. I got it. Like, it's nothing.
Oh, my poor little girl. She died and then she came back.
She came back, you know, she's so bloody strong, but she did get bitten by a were-badger. Right? She did get bitten by a were-badger, but they're going to cure her. Okay.
How did I why was she out hunting were-badgers?
She went out hunting were-badgers. Were-badgers was in.
Pulling them.
Were-badgers were in hunting her. Honestly.
There was were-badgers in the school. What the fuck? Is anyone paying any amount of money to go to that fucking school if there's were-badgers in there?
Well, it's not. They're not like there normally. So you know Henry?
No.
He's the guy that came in. He's a total shit. Mel scammed like hundreds of golds worth of dresses and shit.
Oh, that boy that keeps giving gifts. Yeah, we like him.
So he went out. He went out, got were-badgered, and was like, "I'm gonna make everyone a were-badger," and he's been a real foul mood, like just totally. And he were-badgered but he wanted to kill Agatha and not were-badger her because...
Her specifically? Why?
Her specifically because he used to be Kai's friend, and he's all like, "You
blue
changed,
one,
bro."
The rich blue. Oh,
yeah, you changed, bro. So he's just a shit. He's just an absolute shit. He was dead and now he's back.
Why is Kai and Agatha the connection then? Why is
What?
Why is Henry like angry with Agatha about Kai not being his friend anymore?
Because they're friends. And he's like, "Oh, you're hanging out so much time with Agatha and not me."
Because Kai can only have one friend at a time?
Well, I think Henry's
That seems
just
like a
possessive,
Kai problem
you know?
to me.
No, it's a Henry problem because he's just too possessive. Henry wants Kai to only have one friend. I'm friends with Kai. Horia's friends with Kai. You know, like loads of people are friends with Kai.
But they only wanted Agatha dead.
Yeah, because he took it. It was Agatha's fault, basically.
Seems a bit strong to me.
Well, you know, he don't make good choices, does he? He's a were-badger.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He also gave your daughter hundreds of golds worth of stuff because he
Yeah,
thought
we
she was
don't
gonna
complain
put out.
about that though. She's pawned off that stuff. She's got a new harp.
See? Look. So basically, that all happened. She also died in the corridor, but I found her.
Oh my God.
Me and my mate, Johnny Beanbone, brought her back to life. I got to Johnny Beanbone, but Johnny Beanbone did the spell because I didn't have any magic. I was wiped out from fighting. Even Horiath got were-badgered. So, like, it's not Agatha's fault. Imagine what it took to get Horiath. Like, it's bloody mental. Like, it's so Agatha's doing loads and she's being well strong. It's not just because she's a woman. You know? I don't mean a woman as in because she's a female. I mean a woman because she's just a human woman. And Horiath is like a fey prince.
I'm glad that you pointed that out because I was about to fucking slap you.
No. It's not a gender thing. It's more like because I know you might think that she's like your little girl, like she's fragile.
Right, she's coming out this term.
No,
I'm not
she's
having
not.
this anymore.
She's not.
She's in harm's way the whole fucking time. How many times has she got herself hurt?
Everyone's in harm's way.
This is why we don't leave the city. We have everybody come to us and bring us stuff. We don't. We hardly ever.
Tracy, do you know half the shit that goes on in this city? People are dying left, right, and centre, and people having their ankles slit.
Yes, why we don't leave the pub.
Right, but she's magic. She's magic as fucking balls now, Tracy. She's doing so many spells.
I don't know about all this magic stuff. It seems like a lot of trouble to me.
Look.
She's powerful, but what's the point of being powerful if you're going to be dead real quick?
What's the point of owning a pub that you want to retire if you have to work until you're 60, you know? Like,
it's a nice, comfortable life here, pulling pints.
I know, it's
happy here.
Look,
now
Tracy,
she's getting grief every week.
Not every week.
most weeks.
No.
She's got a heavy caffeine addiction now as well. Don't think I haven't noticed about that.
Right, because she's got a caffeine addiction because she was trying to like make you happy as well.
Oh,
as
it's
everyone
my
else.
fault then, is it? Fucking hell.
Tracy, look, I want to have a conversation with you, but you're being unreasonable.
He's just got his head in his hands.
Tracy,
I'm sorry, I'm het up because it's my little girl.
I know it's your little girl, and that's why I came and told you as soon as I could.
I am grateful. I know my tone of voice is not right. I can't change it.
Right, I appreciate that.
I'm ready to fight for my little girl right now, and
Right.
I've got no one to punch.
Do you want to punch me?
No, I would never. I would
Right.
never.
Okay. Here's, like, look. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And you need to process it however you're going to process it. Whether that means throwing yourself into your work or taking the day off or whatever. Yeah? The town's probably going to be a bit quiet for a few days while all this gets sorted. I'm going to tell her... Is there anything specific you want me to tell her? Because I'm going to go see her. And I don't think...
Tell her she's in big fucking trouble. No, don't say that. Wait. I'm still kind of hepped up. You don't say that. Don't say that. I'll say, tell her, no, I'm not going to say anything now because I'm like full of rage right now. So I'm going to wait until I'm calmer and then maybe Pete can come up with something nice to say because I do have nice things to say. I just...
Do you want to think on it and write a note and I'll take it to her?
Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be lovely because I'm ready to burn that fucking school down right now.
Right, but you need to look. With everything that's happened,
I fucking hate magic so much.
why?
Because it's nothing but trouble, is it?
She loves it though. She really loves it, Tracy, and she's so good at it. Like she's such a good wizard, and like you ain't like I've never seen anything like it. Like she's taking it like a duck to air, you know, just.
I don't actually.
Ducks are such good flyers. They're like massively underappreciated how good they are at flying. They fly.
Right.
Do you know they fly like miles and miles in one go?
I didn't know that. I do feel like we're getting a little bit off track, but
what I'm saying
it's
is,
an
Tracy,
interesting. It's interesting, yeah.
She loves it, and she's so good at it.
Yeah.
You know, like imagine what it was like when you found out that Mel like loved the harp, and she had like this natural excitement and affinity for it, and was able to like hone those skills over how long she did.
Yeah,
it's like that with magic,
Yeah.
And she's got friends.
I thought she'd spend one term there, come back and learn how to make the barrels cold, and that'd be that,
I understand that, but like, it's scary sometimes when you realise that like she can't do that. She can't just do that now. Like she's capable of so much that
I know she's talking to queens and stuff like my friend Queen Udall.
Your pal Udall. Look, it gets to a certain point in your life when you realise you're capable of like wonderful things that like you're kind of obligated to kind of do those things,
Yeah.
So like sorry, but like I don't see a world in which Agatha is just making barrels cold.
I know. I think we've sort of come to realise this in the last few months. It
don't mean that you're not in this like in her life or nothing. Like I feel like this is probably a conversation you should be having with her, but on account of her being in the stand, I just wanted to like. I need you to know, like I know some incredible wizards, and I've met some like really like high up government wizards that like my dad and my mum are friends of, like. And she's so good. She's such a natural, and her eyes light up so much. There's so many people in that school who do magic, and they're just sort of like, oh, it's the done thing, Like she's so excited for it, and like,
yeah,
she's special. That girl.
She's special. Yeah. Yeah.
But also, she's holding her own with people who, you're like Harius, a Fey Prince. He got.
I know. We never got her a teacher. Never. She's like. She just taught herself.
So many tutors. I've had so many tutors in my life, and it's just she's so good. She's so good at magic, and like you should be really proud of her. And she's doing so much good.
I am proud. I just don't. I mean, first it was like all that stuff with your phonoses and going through some sort of mirror, and then it was Beatles and stuff, and
The Beatles were fine, and like the Orthonos, like they captured that girl and were like and put her in like a weird dimension, tried to get her dog to eat her, and also they did all that stuff they made all George like that.
Well, we got to still. I mean, technically, we've got to say allegedly for the next couple of days, haven't we? But he's definitely going down, isn't he?
Tracy, I don't have to see fucking shit. I saw it with my own eyes, right? And if the Lord wants to punish me for speaking my truth, then so be it, right? I'm really worried about going on the stand. I'm just...
Yeah, I'm going. Well, we might shut the shop just to go and like watch that day, whether it's you or whether it's because our girl up on the stand.
So look, you're gonna have a proper conversation with Agatha, but I want you to know she's okay, and I'm doing my best to look out for her. I'm gonna pull out one of the diamonds.
Good grief, that's shiny, isn't it?
Yeah. So I got this. This is, if that ever happens to Agatha and I'm nearby, this is my revive for Agatha. This is her one.
Oh, all right. This is like your neck of the woods, is it?
This is what I do. Yeah, like I also unfortunately do a lot of time just sort of do magic for the vibes, and that means that when shit hits the fan sometimes that I don't have enough magic left in the tank.
All right, we could do less vibes then.
Yeah, we could maybe
just
do some less vibes, but I need you to know, Tracy, it was so romantic what I did. But anyway, like it's like a whole thing. But like I want you to know, as much as I can, I've got Agatha's back. Like I'm not there all the time, but like whenever we're together, like this is for her. This is her one. I've got one for Horiath. I've got one for Nevmer. Like I've got her back.
That's a lot of money. We don't.
No, stop. This is not about the money. She's my friend, and I want her to be happy and healthy. It's not a humble brag. I want you to know that like we're all looking out for each other.
Pete, who's been like fixating a little bit on that diamond since you brought it out, just like looks at you and says, You drink here for free. And Tracy goes, no, he fucking does not.
No, I don't.
You can have one drink for free and then the rest.
Drink.
What are you? One a day. A day. No, you're our Rags's healer.
I tell you what. My mate Johnny Beanbone, he came in clutch, and he's the one who cast the spell.
Oh, he was the one that did. He can have one a day. One mead, one house mead. One pint, not a pitcher. 1 pint of mead a day.
I'm going to say this. He drinks a lot, so you're probably going to get yourself a regular customer. But he's a good egg. He is a good egg.
Right, we'll keep an eye out for him.
But yeah, like I just want you to know that like I've got her back. Her wife's got her back, and never will kill for her.
Kind of looks to Nevma, who's been very silent this whole time, just like watching. I think Tracy might be a bit scared of Nevma. Yeah. It's like
just look, she's got friends. She's got loads of friends. People really like her, and it's not hard to see why.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're in her corner. Fucking wear badges.
Also, maybe not anytime soon, just because of everything that's going on. But I thought that maybe someday in the future, you could go on holiday to one of my parents' holiday homes.
We don't like to leave the city. No, it's too dangerous. And all of this has only proved that.
This happened in the city, though.
I know, but you wouldn't. The amount of our deliveries that don't make it because of like wolves or whatever. We don't travel.
Right, this is like, oh, that's fine. Look, I ain't gonna force nothing. Look, it's a lot of news. It's a lot of news, and you need to process it. However you're gonna process it. Town's probably gonna be a little bit quiet.
Yeah,
And
it's like you've broken up for school already. But you got a few
it's
more
just
days.
a lot of people that are in the sanatorium, a lot of people that are doing a ton of research, and some people are just sort of burned out and they're in their dorms. And some people did go home early.
Wait, so is she still a werebadger now?
She's her, but she could turn into a werebadger. But she's in the sanatorium, and they're working on a potion to make her better.
Right. All right.
So she's going to be
That
better.
poor girl.
Poor girl, but also incredibly powerful woman. You know, so like two sides of that same coin.
Pete like lifts up a kind of 6-pack of mead and goes, "You take that to the sanatorium, yeah.
So
She'll need it to lift her spirits and the rest of them."
I don't know if they're going to be allowed to drink.
Well, you see if they can, because they'll be climbing the walls.
Okay.
Oh, I got an earwax one.
And then I think Sonny's going to wait till they're not looking when he's on his way out. I'm just going to drop 50 gold in the tip jar. All
right, make a note.
Things might be a bit dry for the next few days, and also it would be nice if they don't have to worry about their income while they're worrying about their daughter.
And Pete is gonna not charge anyone. So many students are just gonna start coming in.
I know
and be
Agatha.
Like, I know Agatha, or like, yeah, I'm Johnny Beanbo.
Are you trying to do it while they're not watching?
Ideally, yeah. I might hand it off to Nevma.
Never.
Are you gonna? And Nevma does it. Okay, I'll roll stealth
Yeah.
for Nevma.
Try and make me roll the dice. We'll just do this as a game.
Why don't you roll perception?
Fuck.
Be lookout.
I'm fucking sick of perception. So 11 on dice, plus 5, 16.
Nevma unusually did not do brilliantly at like palming that. There's like a little
It's
tinkle.
fine. We've been so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that diamond thing didn't come across as me bragging about how much money I had. It was.
I thought you were gonna be. So this is what it took to bring her back.
No.
So you were owe me.
In my head, it was like.
This is like an invoice.
Yeah.
In my head, it was like a. Look at all this. Like, look at the things I have to help your daughter.
Yeah,
But I
okay.
realised that's the big thing. Like,
Yeah.
that's the. I've got it. Like, it exists in my hands.
Well, this is what it looks like to have money.
You guys, point of order. One of the days when you are in the final cleric class of the term, Johnny comes in with casts on his feet. Because Al-Qaeda and I think it's Thakos made him take his boots off, made him take his feet off.
Oh god.
And now he's in the process of healing.
Regrowing the bones.
I think.
In those casts, he just has little like what do I want to say? Deadpool feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think Sunny just quietly gives Johnny a hug at an appropriate moment. Like, oh, hey, Johnny. And, like, I think it's like a extra long hug, but not verbally acknowledging the thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Silent acknowledgement without making a big scene.
Yeah. I feel like you guys are quite like good mates now, and especially as like you and Nevma have been hanging out a lot, but you're missing 2 cloister mates, and a lot of people are missing cloister mates. So there's kind of like this thing where people are sort of loitering in the hallways a little bit more to kind of socialize with their mates in different cloisters. So it's kind of like, I'm not trying to push corny silver linings, but that would be the natural progression. Is like the
We
year.
might not
as
have
a
Badger
whole.
Club, but we've got
Livers
Hallway
Club.
We didn't. Turn to
I think as well, if anyone, throughout the time, this doesn't need to be a thing, but like throughout the time, if anyone seems like particularly distressed, or there's like one person and all 3 of their cloister mates got, or maybe some of them died, I think Sunny's going to like recommend the therapist and be like, hey, they were really good for me and my friends. Like, it takes a lot to go and do it. I appreciate that, but like, it's the strongest thing, it's the bravest thing you can do right now is ask for help. And just kind of, Sunny, they're in another world, Nikki would have made a character that would have borne this burden, but Sunny is a little bit more well-rounded than Nikki is, so it's more of a, hey, smiley face, go see a therapist.
Yeah.
When it's hard, the bravest thing you can do is ask for help, and that's.
If you use discount code DODECA, you can get the first 3 half price.
And then obviously tell Johnny about the meat situation.
He's delighted, but he's not going to be drinking while he's healing.
Makes sense.
He you have some great chats with him. I think he's been like he's been on a little bit of a interesting journey where he feels now, since the Revivify, it's a huge breakthrough for him. He knew the spell, but he'd never cast it, and he had this very powerful moment of connection with Panlar when that happened. And he realized, because he'd had the foot intervention that day. That's why he wasn't at prom, because he was really, like, he was going to go with a bunch of friends, and then he'd basically had a really intense intervention.
They interventioned him before prom and then went without him.
Well, it was like faculty intervention, and then his friends were like, let's go, and he was like, I think I'm just going to hang back for a bit. And
Christ,
just
that's so much worse.
Yeah,
sat in his like shorts with his boots on, just drinking whiskey and like looking at his boots and thinking about life. And
Christ,
then,
just a bunch of your teachers just going, hey, bud, not okay. Really not.
and then he heard your voice in his head and was like launched into this intense situation. And you know, the only thing that he knew of Agatha beforehand was buying those cakes off her, and bringing her back to life gave him this, not only a connection with his deity, but with, you know, that was the thing that was missing. He was not doing very well in class because he was not really embodying truth. Or, you know, he was embodying the endurance part, but not really the truth part of the Panlar code. And he sort of, everything just sort of clicked into place about what it is to be a cleric, and how, you know, a lot of the things that you've been going through as well, of like holding people's lives in your hand.
I suppose, yeah, like that's the first time he has dealt with that.
Yeah.
And I also think like during a lighter moment, I think Sunny asks Beanbone to be on his mounted racing team to help with one of the changeovers.
Oh, he is fucking pumped about that.
I think I'm very conscious that like Sunny could easily be like, oh, you did me a huge favour, and like you can make it weird and like, oh, I owe you a life and all this shit, and like, whereas actually I think if Sunny's more interested in continuing to be genuine friends with this man. It's not I feel guilty for asking so much of you. I think it's he's a good dude that I can depend on, and so I think positioning it like, hey, I just need people that I can depend on, and you're one of them, and like, we'll chat strategy, but it will be with like Agatha and Araya and Nedna, and like,
he's really excited about that, and so the end of term kind of happens. I'll say one other thing that's going on is Nevma is really excited about the holiday. She's worried it might not happen because everybody's kind of incarcerated at the moment, but she's like
Sunny's all about saying we're going to make it happen. Like, we're absolutely going to make it happen. There's no way we don't go on holiday.
She's like researching the Obdurate Ridge and the Bay of Souls, and she has been buying camping provisions, quite a lot of camping provisions. You know, when you kind of like end up buying a bunch of stuff that you will probably like the extensions to the tents where in case it like rains, and like the
This
weird
one's
little
got a
fold out
bookcase.
chairs and good boots for everybody, good walking boots, and then she keeps like taking them back and buying new ones because she actually doesn't know what people's shoe size are. And
They're all just for her feet, like size 3.
like clown shoes for Horiath because all she knows is big boy, and like so many swimsuits that she thinks Agatha would look good in, for when you finally get to the Bay of Souls.
It's like she's going to have to do 3 costume changes a day to
Yes.
go through them all. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so many different sarongs because she knows that Agatha is a bit like likes to cover up. So like every single version of a sarong, or like a cover up, or like a linen jumpsuit that you put, or like a slightly toweling kind of material, anything. She's like, I'll get that, and please, I want it in like the mayo color, and then also in like she kind of likes a pale green sometimes, I think. Maybe like a kind of yellowy kind of color.
Mayo, mustard, pickle, all of the condiment colours.
Look, this is all well and good, but we all know that all you need is one good Hessian bikini. That's all you need.
It's all you need.
Chafe those nipples right off.
Susie.
Yeah, and she's even bought extra kind of trunks, travel trunks, travel as in chests and boxes and stuff like that. She's really kind of throwing herself into that stuff.
Is she genuinely excited, or is she so fixated on a future wherein which this bad stuff isn't currently happening?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
You kind of roll insight.
It's okay, I'm very good at insight. That is a 17.
And your passive is 18 anyway, so
Yeah.
you I feel like you've grown, like you're already close in like a friendship way, but I feel like the events of the last few days, I mean, even just prom seemed to kind of expedite, it doesn't feel like the right word, but
No, I think it was more like a literal and metaphorical consummation of the idea of them as a couple, because it was a lot of like, I really like you, I want to see how this goes, let's
see how this goes.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to have the discussion of how is this going?
And I think for both of us, we realised that it's going well. So
and one of the things that you know about her is that she loves school, but the element of school that doesn't like sit snugly in her personality is that she is kind of she's lived a lot of the best years of her life quite nomadically, and she is really ready to not be on school campus for a bit, even though she loves it here. She's like, she just needs to be on holiday. She needs to be moving. She needs to be using her body more than she does when she's at school. She needs to, just be doing other things.
Sunny's in a similar vibe, and I think in an attempt to channel that in a less escapist, like type A, work towards the holiday and more than she can, I think he tries to, when appropriate, have conversations where they share holiday stories of holidays past and like, that kind of stuff, because they're the two that have like holidayed on the material plane loads, and I think that like that's a way to capture the like excited about holiday energy without doing the packing and repacking kind of. There's only so many times you can pack a trunk. It starts to get unhealthy.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely then that element of that I think you're able to pick up on, and that I think Sunny would be particularly good at sort of soothing a bit, is that thing of that element of not wanting anything to go wrong, wanting it to be a good holiday, it's almost sort of too important that it's a great holiday.
Yeah.
And she's even talking about things like, do you think that they're not going to want to like look at the moon? Like should we get like proper canopies so that when we set up camp, and then they won't because they've been like, wear badges, and they might hate the moon now. So maybe we have like umbrellas and stuff so they never have to look at the moon.
I mean, do you hate the sun?
No, I like the sun quite a lot. Yeah.
I think
yeah.
There's a chance that it becomes that, but that's where there's a friendship moment in which we can all kind of huddle in the tent and tell stories and stuff. Like,
yeah.
If we we don't want to be overbearing,
Yeah.
Also, it's Agatha's first holiday, so
yeah.
It's look. I've been to the Bay of Souls so many times. It's super, super chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the best holidays have something go wrong, because they're the stories you get,
Yeah.
If we have a holiday where nothing goes wrong, Agatha's going to be like, so you just kind of stay somewhere else for a minute. That's part of the adventure, Like, someone's going to lose a case, or Horizon's going to, drop Gerald in the pool. Like, something's going to happen, or he's going to, wear clothes that can't get wet, and he's going to spill sauce down it. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And that's the fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We should take extra gold, though, just in case, because sometimes it's quite kind of it's a bit difficult to call for more gold when you're out and about. So,
I mean, when we get to the Bay of Souls, we're sorted.
Right.
We're absolutely sorted. So, don't stress.
All right.
We've got enough gold.
Okay.
And we're all very capable people that if we ran out of gold, we could go somewhere and sort something out.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And when I'm out of the school, look, we're going to be in my domain, going on holiday, specifically to the Bay of Souls. You and I have been on.
We're going to do that hike first through the mountains.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you and I have been on so many holidays. No doubt Horizon's been on loads of holidays. We're all. Kai's definitely been on tons of holidays. I can't remember if we said Pluto and Bing Bong are coming.
I don't think they're coming. No. But I don't know about Hazes. Maybe
that's a good question.
Yeah, I think we invited Hazes, so it'd be really nice.
Yeah, and no doubt Hazes has been on a bunch of holidays. It's just Agatha, so let's relax.
Let's all just stare at Agatha for 2 weeks.
Not. That's definitely not what I said.
Are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying yourself?
You've got to have a good time as well, Never. It's fun.
Yeah. I just want them out of the sanatorium already. It's enough already.
They're going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
They're going to be absolutely
and they're
fine.
going to come out, and I won't have to go on. I won't have to be a witness.
They're going to come out. You're not going to have to take the stand. I'm not going to incriminate myself and then get sent to prison. It's absolutely.
Oh, is that on your mind?
No, not really. I think it's funny because I know I'm right, so I'm pretty confidently saying that man is a kidnapper and attempted murderer. But also, I appreciate one of those things can get thrown back in my face. Also,
I don't think the trial is actually for attempted murder.
It's for kidnapping, right?
It's for imprisonment.
Yeah, but I heard one of the defendant's assistants talk about me trying to seduce someone, and I don't know how it's relevant, and I just don't want to bring it up. It feels wildly out of place, and I just.
If we go tomorrow and watch tomorrow, we might get to see Wexford's testimony.
Yeah.
That'll be when we know what he said about you.
Should I go in disguise so he can't see me?
Yeah, big fucking moustache.
I don't think the top of my lip is the thing I need to cover up. I think it's my big orange horns.
That's true. That's true.
Or I can just sit behind someone tall.
But then you don't get to see.
I can hear it. I know what his face looks like. I think Sunny's just going to try and divert that energy into fun holiday anticipation, not stressed holiday anticipation.
Yeah. Yes, I don't think that's too hard. She has little moments where she slips up, but she it's just going to be that way.
It's not that she can't be stressed, but it's just let's not let it get too far. You've returned those boots 3 times. I think Arrive's going to like the boots you bought him.
Nice. And as we said before, it is the 6th of Promedia, when the day after. Yes.
Sorry, I'm really, really sorry.
Not apologize.
What day did Agatha speak to me about my uncle? Because if it's
The
like the second, then I for sure want to be using some of those days of doing nothing. But
so you prom was on the 1st. It was the 3rd that she told you, because the second was the day when everyone was still like recovering and like ill, and
sick.
so it's been 2 days since then.
I think just during that time, if it's okay, I think I would have asked Sunny to bring the stone,
Are they going
my
to allow
speaking
it
stone.
in? Are they going to allow it in town?
Interesting.
/ will it even work from within town?
That's more of the issue, is that there's just so much extra warding around the sand that
That was Nikki's response. Sunny's response would have been, hell yeah, and then he would have been told that it doesn't work. So.
But I just think if Hariath
Agatha would know.
I think Agatha would know, and Agatha would be like, I wouldn't try it, but if not, then...
I'm not sure I would have mentioned it, because I don't think any of you actually even know I have it.
No.
Sunny would have got... I think Sunny goes to get it, and then you find out it doesn't work. I think maybe that's how this happens.
That's probably how it happens. Okay, cool.
And Sunny also brings that case of 6 beers to the...
The second thing would be to see if I could get a missive to the enchantment tutor.
Mr. Doug, I think.
Thank you.
Yes, it is, Mr. Doug.
Just talking in the loosest terms about hypothetically, if a soul was cast about the different planes, how would you get it back? Just hypothetically, just out of interest.
By sending a missive, do you mean you're sending a Sunny?
Why are you asking the enchanter?
Because I guess that's how it happened.
Oh,
right?
I see.
It was conjuration, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, conjuration. I mean, sorry,
Miss Peg.
Miss Peg.
Miss Peg.
Yeah.
Miss Peg is very happy to come to the door of the corridor. You know, she's not going to go through that door, but you can go and you can kind of speak through the window to her. She is a formidable looking. Well, she's only formidable once you've spoken to her. When you look at her first, she looks like a very sweet, gnomish, not right on the verge of being elderly, with lots of braids up and round and very kind, twinkly eyes. But the moment that you begin to speak to her, you realize that she is an extremely powerful woman and conjurer and wizard. And so you speak to her about what?
Yeah, just hypothetically, if a soul were to be cast about hither and yon willy-nilly.
How did that happen?
Through... I'm assuming that...
Fields? Is this
I would have I'll let her explain.
You kind of you turn back and call to Agatha, who comes sheepishly out of her room and towards the end of the corridor, and it's just your two faces looking out of the window to Miss Peg, who's a bit lower down on the other side of the door. So just run me through what it is that we're talking about here, Miss Fifield.
Right, so you know the conjuration, the summon fae thing.
Yes, I was quite intrigued by all of that.
Yeah, so it seems that Mr. Agvi, Uncle Agvi, Abathol, he told me his names. Abathol, his body is in the Feywild, but like he can't wake up because his soul is like trapped. Like I think like in between. So we're just trying to figure out how like we can like get his soul back to him. I just wondered if anything like that happened before, if any other like conjuration things or summon.
I will do a little bit of research on this, but I do feel that what we will be bumping up against here is that his body is in the Feywild, and some of the rules for magic are quite different there, and information does not flow between the realms. But I can send a packet or put a packet together for the Agvi family of my learnings from this side, and if it assists them in what they need. But I would advise that the Agvi family employs a priest on their end, somebody who is maybe has the dual learnings of conjuration and learnings of the spirit kind of souls and planar activities.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that would be.
I can have that by tomorrow if you're.
That would be phenomenal. Thank you so much.
And if there's any books you recommend me reading, see if I can understand any of this a bit more, just let me know and I'll like.
No, I think that's fine. You don't you read about conjuration, little one? No.
No, that's fine. I won't.
All right. Well, thank you. This is going to be a very interesting project for me. And she turns around and like bimbles off down the stairs out of the sanatorium. No, that's quite undermining. I'm sorry, Miss Peg.
Don't be.
Nice. So, is that everything, Horath?
Yeah, why not?
So if you've got anything else, do bring it.
I think there was something, but I can't remember.
Okay.
I thought I'd written it down. I haven't.
So the 6th is the day that you take that tonic, and you need a lot of time to recover from that. Because as I said last time, it's like taking yourself down to like, you know, it's going to take at least one long rest to leave the sanatorium afterwards. Because you just feel like crap. Okay. And with that, though, you are free to leave.
Freedom.
Yeah. And on the 9th, I'm now using your term.
Oh, I'm bad.
But my printer's not great, so I'm like, I can't read the colourful letters.
I did make the best colour choices for printing.
Well, they've also got my scribblings on it so that I know which are days off and which are day 1s or 2s for each term. Yeah. So I put some extra things on it. So then on the 9th is the day that Hiraeth and Agatha are summoned to be witnesses.
Okay. I'm ready.
And it's the 8th that Didius Yehimini meets you to do a little bit of prep work for that, so that you know kind of what it is. He's sort of been sent by Father to take you through what it's like to be on the stand, so that you know, he realizes that one of you is not even from this plane of existence, so he just wants to make sure that you know what it is going to be like, and to sort of make sure that not that your stories are straight, because you just got to tell your story, but that you it's one thing to just tell your story, but if you then get cross-examined and things start to sound a little bit different, it can really kill a case. So you spend the afternoon with Divisia Sensus, and then the 9th comes.
Right. Okay. Is there anything we should like avoid, like not mention, or like?
And again, I realize I've said this about 4 times already, but are you sure you need me?
Yes.
Cool.
You are taken to the halls of justice, and you are actually taken in to the side doors so that you are in chambers. You know that Sunny and Nevma have gone, and Kai and Hazes have gone to the courtyard area to wait to be let in so that they are present and they are watching. But you guys are taken into the smaller chambers and you wait. And while you're waiting, Sunny and Co, you are led in, you sit down in your usual places, and before they are witnesses, it's Wexford's turn on the stand. And they call Wexford, who basically claims is for the defense, so is doing the thing that Jerome needs very badly, which is saying that Jerome didn't know anything. Jerome was fooled just like everybody else and assumed that his sister was in Drashen and was married with children, and only the parents knew and did everything, and now they're dead. It's like a closed case. However, on cross-examination from our friend, the slow-talking Father Yehimini, I don't know why I've forgotten his first name.
Yemeni.
What?
Wait.
Hideous.
Hideous Yemeni, that's not his name. Wait, get my NPC
What is his name?
file out.
Wasn't it Himini?
It's Himini.
No, Phineas.
Hideous Yemeni. Well done.
Himini. Yeah.
Really trying to touch with the law.
Phineas Yehimini cross-examines him in that slow, deliberate way. I just imagine like Sunny absolutely crawling in his bench, and his story very quickly falls apart. Does not hold up to scrutiny at all, and the judge actually intersects and calls him an unreliable witness and asks that Wexford is taken away and that his own charges are pressed for perjury on the stand.
Shit. Yes.
And so you guys in your antechamber hear a little bit of a commotion, and you hear the voices of, "This is absolutely outrageous, I would never lie," kind of being dragged down the hallway. And then a blonde human man walks in, about 25 years old, and says, "Hiraeth Agvi."
No.
You got this, right? It's gonna be fine.
I don't.
It can't be worse than wear badges, right?
We could. Yeah. No, you're right. Wish me luck.
Good luck. You got this. It's gonna be great. We saved a woman, and we did a good thing.
Yep.
And we're gonna stop this man from doing it ever again, or get away with it.
Yeah. Okay. It's me. Hi.
You are walked through a corridor into an antechamber where an elven woman with dark, cold eyes and blue and black robes addresses you and says, "Do you abide by one faith over any other?" You see, she's standing in front of like a table of different symbols of different deities.
I guess, the mother.
Lady Thorn.
No, no, no. I actually genuinely right now can't remember the material plane name for the
font.
mother. The font.
You can. She can be the font or the mother is absolutely
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Um,
And goes to a drawing that's like marked Feywild, and pulls out a quite an old symbol.
that'll do it.
Just pop your hand on this symbol.
Sorry. Yep. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Okay.
And places her hand over your hand, sandwiching your hand and the symbol. You have consented to give testimony on this day, the 9th of Promedia, epoch of Julian 104. Do you swear to tell the truth as you know it?
I swear.
Do you understand that if you are found to bear false witness, you will be prosecuted yourself, the maximum penalty of which is death?
Well, I sure do understand that now.
Go in peace and truth. And slides her hand off yours and
And also with you.
And you enter the courtroom, and it feels horribly like stepping onto a stage where you don't know your lines, because everybody is there. The pews are full of people. The jury is there. The judge is there. Prosecution, defense, everyone's there, and you are to sit in a chair on a podium. And comes forward Yehimini. Why the fuck? What's his fucking name?
Phineas.
Jesus, what's wrong with me? Phineas. In my mind, Didius is so handsome that I can't now think of. I forgot his name again.
Phineas.
Phineas Yehimini steps forward. Hello, Master Agvi. Could you tell us how you first came to know about the Orthonos house and why the events came to pass? That you went to the house?
Of course. Well, old George, who runs the bookshop in town, is a very good friend of the Fivefields. Very good friend. Spent a lot of time with the Fivefields, and told Agatha about his former lover. We did a bit of research and spoke to members of the family, spoke to the butler, and realized that something wasn't quite right.
What made you think that something wasn't right?
Ooh. Well, it's a long time ago, but it's Tom is panicking. Sorry, is it warm in here? Yeah, I mean, they had explained that the daughter of the family had been married off to someone from out of town, but we realized that there was. Am I right in saying we realized that there was no sort of like knowledge of people passing or something like that? I think that was part of the research. This is all out of character. In a long time.
You roll history check.
Oh, okay. That's a 7.
When you went to go and see them the first time, you just didn't get any information at all. The information seemed to track that actually she wasn't.
Cool.
Like
Cool.
everything. The only reason why you came back to investigate further was a painted window.
Cool. Yeah, we went to ask the family some questions about this, and when we spoke to the butler, he was very standoffish. Didn't like most of us very much, although he did have an affinity to one of my friends. And we didn't get a huge amount of information, but for a blacked out window at the top of the house. Would you like more? Sorry.
So you roll insight.
Better roll so far. 14 plus 5, 19.
Yeah, Yehimini Phineas is kind of staring at you like you please remember this better if you can. So on the day of the intrusion into the Orthonos residence, tell us how things went down for you from your perspective, because we will of course have Miss Fifield in a little while.
Yeah. We went to check out the window. We wanted to see if...
Were you planning on breaking into the house?
No, absolutely not. I wasn't at all. But when we went to investigate the window, it did break. And Agatha and Nebma were, sucked into the window. Not of their own volition.
So you already knew at that point that no good was happening within that house. You saw them forcibly sucked into the Orthonos residence.
Yes, at this point, I knew that my two friends were within the house. And
what did you do then?
Well, I knocked on the door and spoke to them. Asked if I could come in because my friends had been sucked off into a window. And they rather standoffishly agreed to let me into the house, but told me that along with my This isn't true. I've just misremembered. Shit.
Is this where you get prosecuted for perjury?
Yeah.
And you get a death sentence?
Along with our friend, Bing Bang, we went into the house and asked to check if my friends were up there. They denied our appeals. And I then tried to get up of my own volition. To which point I was viciously attacked.
By Mr. and Mrs. Orthonos and Jerome.
All three, yes.
And point of detail. You came in asking for your friends?
No, I was worried that they may see this as a breaking and entering, which it wasn't. However, at that point, I did fabricate a story to get in the door. Once I was inside, however, I did speak to them plainly and said that my friends were upstairs. I regret my decision, but at the time, you can understand I was incredibly worried for my friends' safety.
Right. So, the important piece of information here is that Jerome, the defense, said to you that there was nobody in the house.
Yes.
Right. And then you fought with them. They fought back.
To be clear, I didn't fight. I tried to get up. It was a one-sided altercation where they were attacking me. But yes, you are right.
Right. But because they had magical wands, they overpowered you.
Yes.
And called the custodial forces.
Yes.
That's where our police report, which has already been entered into evidence, comes into play, because we have everything else from Froggitt and Tanner. Then you came back later.
I did.
To do what?
To try again to appeal to their better nature. At that point, however, I met up with some of my friends who had also heard the news, and that's where things got more heated.
When you fought through, because we have also the accounts from the police report about that particular fight, which we have been through already with Mary Froggitt. But in your opinion, during that fight, when the mirror was broken and your friends came tumbling out along with Francesca Rothonos, would you say, in your opinion, that Jerome was at all surprised to find that his sister had been in the mirror?
Not at all, no.
Right. Can you please roll for me a disadvantaged persuasion check, please?
Fuck me. I've hated every second of this, Lydia. I hope you know that. Persuasion.
Yeah.
Fuck me. That was a 19, but I also rolled a 10.
Your persuasion's pretty good though, right?
My persuasion is quite good, so that's an 18.
Okay. Yeah, that was hard work. Not in a like, I'm not dissing you for that. I'm just
listen. It's been a long time since that happened, and I can tell you right now, the experience at the time wasn't a happy one for me either.
Yeah. You are led out, and you go back to the anteroom.
Can we never get involved in another legal battle ever, please? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Great.
Agatha
Agatha is lying.
Fifield? You're called by that
Oh.
blonde gentleman.
Right. How is it? Is it all right though? All right. Wish me luck.
You'll be fine. You'll be great.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
me? Why?
You remember shit.
Okay. I just gotta remember shit. All right. I'll just remember shit.
You are led through a corridor into an antechamber where there is an elven woman with dark, cold eyes. It makes it sound like they're cold eyes, but they're coal.
Coal.
You know, they've got coal on them. Who addresses you? Do you abide by one faith in particular over another?
Yeah, I think so. A little bit. Now, maybe. We don't need to get into it. And she like points. I don't know if they're out, but like, Panlar.
She lifts up a symbol that is a hand with an eye hovering above it, and you place your hand on top, and she places her hand on top of your hand. You have consented to give testimony on this day, the 9th of Promedia, Epoch of Julian, 104. Do you swear to tell the truth as you know it?
I swear.
Do you understand that if you are found to bear false witness, you will be prosecuted yourself, and that the maximum penalty of which is death?
I understand.
Go in peace and truth.
Thank you.
And you are led in to a room where all eyes are on you. There are perhaps 150 people sitting watching the case. There are 12 people in the jury, judge, defense, prosecution. You sit. Phineas Yehimini. Miss Fifield, thank you for coming today.
It's okay.
We have heard a little about the events leading up to freeing Francesca Orthonos. Can you please tell us about the evening where you broke into the Orthonos house? Just in your own words, tell us all about what happened that evening.
So, that evening, we were so confident that there was something wrong that we thought, well, our plan was to just climb a building next to that house so we could maybe look in through one of the windows and try and see into one of the rooms. But all of the windows were painted black, so you couldn't see in. And then I think there was just something in my gut that told me something was wrong. So I jumped across the building because, well, I had cast a spell on myself so I could like jump and climb easier, and that spell was going to wear off, so I knew I had to make a decision there or then if I was going to do it, and I chose to do it. And then I jumped through the window, which I know is bad, like I never do anything bad, and I know that was breaking and entering, and for that I am sorry, but I just knew I had to do it in case Francesca was in there. So I jumped in, and it was really...
And what did you see in that room?
There was a dog and a mirror, and then the dog growled at me a bit, and I got a bit scared, and I was about to leave or try and like get back out the window, but then Jerome came through the door and like froze me and I couldn't move.
So when you say froze, he cast a spell on you that kept you in place.
Yeah, he cast like a hold person spell.
And it was definitely the defendant, Jerome Orthonos.
Yes.
And what happened after he froze you in place?
He grabbed me by the back of my head and dragged me across the room to the mirror and shoved me in it.
There's this like moment as you're talking when there are like gasps rippling through the people in the courtroom, especially as you're talking about it definitely being Jerome that did both of those things. And as you say, he pushed me in the mirror. Jerome like stands up and goes, "You fucking bitch! You fucking bitch! She's a liar and she's a bitch!" And then there's like this like quiet in the court. There's like absolute hubbub.
All right, mate.
After a while, it like settles down a little bit, and there's quite a lot of gavel like knocking, and I'll have order in my court. And Phineas says to you, "So you were trapped in the mirror, and when for a time, and as we have seen in the police report, during the fight outside, they broke the mirror and released you from it. Yourself, your friend Nevmakis, and Francesca Orthonos, all together."
Yes.
So it's your understanding that Francesca was being kept in the mirror.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was Jerome that put you in the mirror.
It was definitely Jerome that put me in the mirror.
Thank you very much, Miss Fifield. Can you please roll a persuasion check?
Oh, no. It's not terrible. 12.
Right. You're led out. And
is that it?
Yeah.
Cool.
You may go.
Thanks.
The defense decides to not cross-examine either of you.
Oh, sweet.
And by the end of the day, I'd say to Sunny, particularly, who's watching, it seems there's quite a lot of conferring between the defense lawyer and Jerome Orthonos, but it feels pretty much like they're just rolling now. Like they're going to continue to argue, but they're not really, you know.
Oh, then they're not going to pick up steam. They don't have like a card to play. They're like,
their card to play was the housekeeper, was Chari and Wexford, and everything else has just slotted into place.
Got one more trick up my sleeve. It's called perjury.
It's this guy, and he's fucked it. So
it's called paying my employee to lie in court.
In fact, I think because you've got pretty good, like, even passive insight, and after a while, I think, like, Agatha and Horiath, you can, like, walk around and then watch. And I know, Agatha, you've got, you can read lips, can't you?
Yes, yeah.
You see at one point Jerome Orthonos just lean over and just go, "Can I not change my thing to guilty now? Can we just change that now? Because then I'll get a lesser sentence." And they're like, "No, you fucking should have done that to start off with, shouldn't you?" And there's quite a lot of like bickering between them.
I really like the idea of Agatha and Horiath being slowly escorted to like where Sunny and Never are, and Tracy and Pete at the back going, Axe! Agatha!
Ultimately, we had two pretty good rolls. It always works out this way that Hiraeth, though he really poorly remembered the events, rolled an 18 on his persuasion, even though it was at disadvantage. And Agatha, who really kind of had the clutch move, got a 12. But I think, a mixture of both being fairly good rolls and the sheer facts of it. Ultimately, Jerome is found guilty of false imprisonment and is sentenced to 5 years in prison. It's only 5 years because Jerome
He's
was
rich.
technically a child when the imprisonment first started, and so was not part of the decision making. He was complicit in the imprisonment, but he didn't like start the whole stuff. He would have been an actual toddler when she was first put in.
Wait, really? Oh yeah, because he's like in his
He's
30s.
he's like the younger brother. Like
Yeah.
he's only like 30, so he would have been like 5 when she was put in the room, and
And she was like 23 or something, or
Yeah.
like 25. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
And
Fucked up
so
thing for a 5-year-old to do.
and so you kind of, the whole of the people who are watching like spill out into the street. There's a general sense of like real buzz about it. There weren't very many people who were actually rooting for the Orthonoses, but there were a lot of people who were just there of like, they don't know either way, they're just rubberneckers. But most people who were there were like, have heard this like crazy story about the people who locked their kid up. And you guys are like walking back, talking about everything and unknitting everything, and oh my god, then you said this, and I can't believe it, like Hiraeth, you nearly like didn't say the right thing about the flute, like you completely forgot about the flute.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know, did Sunny and Emma get called up at all?
No.
Cool. That's
They
fine.
were there in case they were like in case Local Girl and Faye Prince couldn't do it.
That's fine.
And
It's not that I
ultimately
wanted to roleplay it. It's just I had a thing if he had gone through that. But
no, I mean, here's the thing. If they felt like it was going poorly, they would have added, like, they would have given weight and put more witnesses, been like, here's another person who was there,
Yeah.
here's another person who was there, to give it more weight. But, I think after, like, the first-hand experience of somebody being attacked by Jerome is put through.
also the weight of going, oh, Jerome and his elderly parents kicked the shit out of Hiraeth. Look at this big scary dude. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they just sort of didn't. They knew that the whole case was sort of
No, it's
collapsing.
fine. I was going to have a conversation about the picking gods thing. But Sunny didn't go through that, so...
Yeah, didn't need to. But and I think after Hiraeth goes, I don't want to talk about it, Nevma starts going, okay, so let's talk about holiday. Starts like going through, like, I think that we should like be transported to here, and then and you're walking through the front doors to the school, and you are immediately met by a very tall man, a little bit taller than Hiraeth, long green hair, umber skin, looking somewhere between Paul Newman and like what's the guy's name?
Paul Dano.
You're talking about the here in my car
Brandwell.
guy?
The what?
Here in my car?
Paul
No.
Newman.
Paul Newman.
Son, here in my car? That's Gary Newman.
That's Gary Newman.
Paul Newman is a very handsome actor from the classic age of cinema.
Okay.
But like a cross between that like like classically handsome face, but also like Thranduil, I think his name is, from The Hobbit. And he steps to Hiraeth and embraces his son. Takes your face and touches your forehead to his.
Dad?
Son, we got word that there was an incident at the school and that you were gravely injured.
Uh,
I've come to see how you fare.
yeah. No, we're okay. They've got good, they've got good people in the SAN.
You look well.
Thanks, Dad. These are my friends.
Sonny, what do you? This is
This is
DM.
Nikki.
You got your finger up, yeah.
Am I crazy, or did we not that long ago find out that that's not actually Hariah's dad?
You didn't find
we don't
out.
know.
You didn't
We
find out
didn't, right.
anything. Also,
No.
he is his father.
He is his dad.
He is his father. He's just
Yes.
perhaps not his biological father.
Right.
Can I just roll stealth, please?
Yes, of course you can. In fact, this would be a very good time to tell you that because the term has officially ended, you can look up in your feats, just type your name go to your feats section, press manage feats,
www.wikifeet.com
search your name, and you'll find
/managefeet.
the feat that is for the end of your term.
Oh
I would
shit!
like to disengage and dash.
Oh shit!
Have a quick read of those. I'm desperate for the toilet, so
Okay.
I'm just.
There you go. There's
Should
no
we-
screen that exists that doesn't have Lydia on screen, so I apologise for that.
Should we say what we get?
Yeah. Go.
You want to go first?
Okay.
Oh my god! Whilst I sort
Okay.
myself out after seeing my dad.
There you go. Sneak is starting to be less daunting now. You have proficiency in stealth and sleight of hand, and 3 times a day you can either disengage, dash, or hide as a bonus action.
Ooh,
That's fun.
that's fun.
What's
Nikki,
yours?
have you found
Oh.
yours?
No,
So you've taken conjuration as your secondary, and it's starting to pay off. You now have a spell book with a cantrip and a first level spell, which you cast using your intelligence. Oh dear, as your spellcasting stat. You can use your cantrip twice a day and your first level spell once. Starting at second level when you select this school. Wait, what? Oh shit! Starting at second level, when you select this school, you can use your action to conjure up an inanimate object. So it's the conjuration shit, man.
Yeah.
And then
That's fun.
Oh, that's fun.
That's good. Do you know what your spells are? What spells you got?
I'm gonna check. Bear with.
still looking for yours?
I'm still looking. The app was playing up.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay. Okay, hold on.
Oh.
I'm gonna add it and see if it does it for me. Oh shit, it does. Oh shit, it does. Okay, cool. Okay, so I have create bonfire.
Oh, fun.
With a fun little sort of bit that says, shall I say it? Hold on.
Yeah.
Having learnt your cantrip, create bonfire. You are curious if you can use if you can use it to make your glaive a flaming glaive. You will have to do some research into this. That's exciting, and I get unseen servant as well.
Yes, that's fun. That's cool.
Your boy's got a little bit of monk in him. I can use patient defense now, and I can use dexterity instead of strength for my headbutts.
That's
Oh, shit.
Good. That's very good.
I'm very
Massive.
tempted to do more. I feel like these. I'm going to go in and edit these feats as like your next terms progress, so that you can start to get like what happened. You know, essentially secondary, as if you were leveling up in your secondary. So then you can get like what you get for those things, conjuration.
How exciting!
That's very fun. Agatha rolled a 22 on her hide check, but I might roll it again if at disadvantage because I think she will, assuming Kai's with us, she will grab Kai as well to hide.
Okay. Let me roll for Kai. Kai rolled a natural 20.
Oh,
Guys,
Oh, yeah.
as soon as Kai saw two tall men like embracing and the green hair and like looked at you and your frozen face, he just went,
I honestly thought you were going to reveal that Kai's a homophobe. As soon as Kai saw two men embrace.
I just say, yeah, this is Sunny and Nevma. And
You're right.
and Bing Bong and Pluto.
oh, are they all here? Sorry,
Yeah.
And
It's like everybody that was involved in the Orthonos case, and actually Hayes's would be there as well.
yeah, and
Hello, nice to meet you.
this is Hayes's. We are we're together.
I'm going to take a guess and say this is your dad, because you didn't
Yes.
do the other half of that introduction. Hi, my name's Senny. I'm friends with your son.
He goes to shake your hand, but he's a little distracted by the sudden revelation that he has a girlfriend. But he looks to you and says, a pleasure to meet you, Sonny. And goes round and takes Hayes's hand and looks at her for, quite a kind of penetrating fashion for quite a while, and keeps hold of her hand for a bit longer. Hayes, nice to meet you. What did you say your connection to her was again? All right.
Well, we're together, Dad.
Okay. Very nice to meet everybody. It's so good to see that everybody is looking well and healthy after the incident. Maybe I could get caught up on what happened.
Yeah. Do you want to go to? I think of going. There's a great place, I know. And then go. Maybe not.
I would say something. Pete and your dad were going like a fucking house on fire. You say what you will. Pete is a very likable guy.
Would you like to take a walk around the grounds? I mean, you've been here before. What am I doing?
I would really like to do anything at all. It is tiring coming here, and so I may not be at my best right now, but maybe we could sit and have tea or coffee somewhere. And
Of course. And then maybe later I can, show you what I've been learning. I've learned so much here already. Yeah.
I would love nothing more.
Okay.
And you walk back into town, possibly? What's your plan?
Yeah, I think I'd walk back into town. We'd walk back.
I'm
Actually, I'd go
to Riot and tell him that I'm going to look after. We're going to look after Hayes.
Yes.
Just so
yes.
it's not like
Great.
you're not like. I feel bad, and I'm just going to kind of let that sit for some time.
Yeah.
Just so that's
Great. Thank you. Oh, could you just meet? Could you meet me? I'm just going to grab the hot sauce from you.
Okay.
My dad, my dad won't like any other food. I'm going to make it better for him.
Drop in hot sauce on a French fancy.
And I take him to the fancy place that we went on our first date. Because that's the only place I know.
You and your father, Urion, Jean, Agvi, go into town. These two 7-foot beautiful wonders of beings striding through town, turning heads, and you are seated and given essentially high tea. It is the time of day for it.
Now I've learned since I've been here that the food is not great. So Yeah. So, I have a friend at school. They make great hot sauce. I realize it's not, the flavor that we're after, but it's something. It's something. If you'd like to try it, you know?
Uh, he picks up a chocolate eclair and takes the hot sauce and just pours a thin like line, like it's a hot dog,
Yeah,
along it,
yeah.
and begins to eat and goes, puts it back down on the plate and goes, so tell
Every
me.
campaign of food crime.
Every episode, if I can. If I feel like I've failed if I haven't committed a food crime an episode. We don't need to RP here because we've done an awful lot of storytelling, like
Yeah.
retelling of events. But I feel like you could tell the story of the were badgers. Like, I think it'd be
Yeah.
more useful if you say if you're omitting anything, if you're spinning a yarn of any kind, and where you draw the line.
Honestly, I don't think I'm omitting much. I just think during this conversation, it's just back to being a kid again. Like, it feels that there's that kind of energy of like, I haven't been able to tell you a story for since I was only yay high.
Yeah. I mean,
So it,
you spent really only a handful of days with him
yeah,
when he came back to when you left
yeah.
to come to this school. So you've known him very little as an adult.
And I do think during the conversation, I'm very aware that like a lot of the mannerisms that are coming through are kind of, looking at him in his stately sort of form. I think I realize how, like, as we're moving through that, oh shit, I've become more mortal. Like in the and so like as we
Got that
go,
like fidgety thing, and you're like
yeah,
picking at your nail or whatever, or
yeah.
as you're talking. Yeah.
And as we move through, I think that sort of starts to kind of ebb a little bit, and I sort of straighten my back, and so yeah,
That fayness, the Fae, I think especially Dawn province Fae, they are tactile creatures. They are emotional creatures. They are they love and they hate, and they are passion and and all of that. So whilst there is that, it's more like you're not making yourself small anymore.
no, yeah,
Gives you
exactly,
that space to like expand into your
yeah.
kind of self a bit more.
So yeah, then we found ourselves in San, and that's that.
Well, what will come of the people who brought lycanthropy into the school?
From what I'm aware, they are being questioned as to their motives, and will be punished in the way that the material plane punishes people.
They're fairer here than I thought them to be. I always imagined their lives were so short, and that they often chose to execute and to kill and to end lives even quicker. But it seems that they do prize long lives and a justice system.
I mean, yeah. I
mean,
guess
you take into account the young lady Fifield,
Yeah.
that she was forgiven very easily.
I, I wouldn't say easily, Dad.
Do you know her? Well, I know that you mentioned her in some of your missives to us.
Is that why you're here? Really?
No. I would have come earlier if I thought that... Hiraeth, if I thought that you were going to take matters into your own hands, I would have come. The fact that you seem to know and forgive her, that makes me glad.
It does?
Of course. It is what I did when I came here. I didn't get to speak to her directly. She has a formidable mother.
Yeah, she does.
Had I met her, I would have told her to rest easy.
I really want to insight, but it's my fucking dad, man.
I mean, your passive insight. 15.
You were expecting that to be higher.
Your passive insight gives you that I don't know. It's hard because you just you're relating to him, as we've just said. You're kind of relating to him as an adult for what you've only done that a handful of times, and as a child, you just automatically believe everything that your parents say. So even you just, like, as you actually said, it doesn't occur to you that he would be deceiving you in any way. But he looks pretty like earnest in what he's saying, and it sort of occurs to you in this moment. You know how you get those moments as you're growing up where you realize that your parents have like traits.
Yeah.
Like they have a different. They're not just Captain America. They've got actual personality traits, and you realize that your dad is an extremely kind person. That he is, he just sort of radiates goodness, and sort of justice isn't the right word, because if you radiate justice, you are a bit like Captain America. But like, there's just a real like goodness that comes off him.
Cool. I mean, yeah, Dad, I know her well, and it was a mistake, and it almost makes it worse that it was. But Dad, she's brilliant. I mean, she encapsulates everything that makes mortals what they can be.
She's particularly mundane.
I mean, yeah, no. She made this enormous mistake without having any concept of what it meant until it had happened, and then carried on. She has worked so hard for a life that she'd never even wanted, because that's what they do. And she's fantastic. She is phenomenal at what she does. And it all came from a mistake.
And what about the boy?
He's good. He's kind and considerate and incredibly scared of us. But I'm trying to make him see that he doesn't have to be at least scared of me, and I hope not of you.
Could I meet them?
I mean, I'll have to ask him, but
We
if
could
so,
have
then
dinner
yeah.
with your friends tonight.
Yeah? Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll set it up. I'll arrange it.
How are you finding being clipped?
Pretty awful. It's something I wanted to speak to you about, actually. I've been meaning to for a while.
Mm.
How long's it been for you?
Well, nearly 200 days. And I did not feel the reclipping. It was microscopic. The changes when I got back, it may take cycles and cycles to recover from clipping, I'm afraid to say. I am looking into it. Maybe it'll be better when you come back, but and maybe it'll be different. Maybe it is my age that makes it difficult to shake. Maybe there is a trick to it that I haven't found, but
Okay.
I can see that it is hard. It's even harder to be home and to not fit back into the life because you are so fragile and small. Your mother looms over me. But it is it's day season now, so she's not the Lord Mater anymore. She's just Lord.
Okay. And how is home? How is everyone? How's Ewan? How's Isolde?
Ewan is restless, but taking to the change of the seasons very well, is meditating a lot. Seems lonely, I think. Seems ready to marry, perhaps. And your sister, I don't know. I haven't seen her. She wasn't even there for the celebrations of the changing of the seasons. I think she went on holiday with your cousin, and they are on an extended spa trip, I'm sure.
Okay. Which cousin?
Ingrid.
They just went. Did they tell you when they'd be back? Where they were going at all?
You know your sister. She's been on benders that have lasted for a cycle. God, I love her.
Yeah. How's mom?
I've seen cycles where she has not taken to handing the crown on well, but I feel that this time she was happy to. It was a long season, and she did great work despite the fact that she was alone for a lot of it, and we provided well. It was a good season, and there was the festivities were all great, and the only thing is that she misses you terribly.
I miss her too.
She wanted to come. I had to.
She wanted to come?
She wanted to come, but it's not a good idea to.
No, it's terrible. It's a terrible idea. I would love to see her. I would adore to see her, but yeah. Well done for telling her not to come.
Well, Your uncle is still the same. He makes very little progress, but
Well, that's actually something that I wanted to speak to you about. Actually, it's Agatha who told me. She met him. She met
I know that she met
Aberthal.
him. That was what started all of it.
No, sorry. She died this week, and I mean she's back. She's here now. Not here. You know what I mean?
He just puts his hand on your shoulder to like calm you, calm your kind of slight stammering.
Aberthal's trapped. His soul is trapped on this plane and the ethereal. I might not be the best person to talk to you about it with, but we have a professor here who has.
You would have the packet, actually. I mean, you wouldn't have it on you because
yeah.
that would be an odd thing to take to court. But
we were actually given a packet of information about it by one of the.
I would love to read that in between now and dinner, and then
of course
speak to Agatha. But this is huge.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I would have told you sooner.
What did he say to her?
Did you tell me that he forgave you?
yeah, she said that.
Yes.
She would have given Hiriath, I imagine, like another time between now and then, like all of the information, like literally the conversation, like we spoke about this. He said like how he's learned from watching through Agatha.
Yeah.
And
we talked about at the like end of November session. We talked about how Hiriath had horrible cabin fever and was like looking out the window talking to like Gerald the whole time going, this fucking sucks. But I can imagine now with this layered on top, he's often just coming to the window going, so like tell me something else that happened.
Yeah.
So like, you would have squeezed every sentence that he said out of you, I think.
Yeah.
He forgave her. He said he's been learning a lot from being with her, and I've learned a lot too. But she'll be the one she'll be able to fill you in.
She must
on
be
everything.
a powerful being. I can't wait to meet her.
She's got a lot of charm. Hey, do you wanna? Shall we go up?
I would love to. I can't drink this hot piss anymore. I feel sick as it is. So let us pay.
We'll get you something stronger. It's fine. Hey, would you like to meet Gerald?
Your childhood toy?
Yeah. We can ride him.
In the middle of the
cafe. Outside the cafe.
He is deeply impressed by that, and it's getting even more like Lee Pace from The Hobbit, riding a stag, but this time it's like a horned hare. Back to school. I don't think we need to absolutely RP everything here, because this session has been an awful lot of retelling stuff that has happened last term. So instead of that, I think he reads the packet, and before meeting everybody, which I think we'll do next time, he asks you to come with him, not to the Feywild, but to one of the Fey fairs in between the material plane and the Feywild, to meet with your mother and your aunt and to formulate a plan of bringing back your uncle and meet with some priests in that middle ground. Because if you go to the Feywild, there's a possibility that 20 years will pass and you will have missed out on an awful lot.
Absolutely.
So you can't go anywhere where it's too timey-wimey. It's get a little bit timey-wimey in the Fey Fair, but not too much.
Yeah.
So it's a good middle ground.
Of course. I'd love to. I would. Yeah. Of course.
Then we have to travel to Don Valon kind of quickly because that's where all the best gateways are.
Oh. Yeah. We were gonna go on holiday together, but no, I just need to apologize to my friends.
Okay. We'll go tomorrow if that suits. If you could pack a bag for tomorrow and
Of course, yeah. I can do that. Yeah.
You can just take the bag that Neville's packed for you.
This is going to be so awkward. We're going to take Hazes on holiday with us, and none of us have really spent that much time with her.
But here's the thing: we absolutely have to take Hazes, and I do not remember if Horaith invited her.
Oh, I did. I for sure did.
Yeah.
I absolutely
She's
did.
definitely invited.
And as I'm
Bring
thinking
Mal.
Because if you invite Mal, it's another day,
Mal
and
brings
it's
a date.
just
God
fucking.
damn it, yeah.
and as I'm thinking about like, okay, got to tell them about the holiday. Got to pack a bag to go to the Fey Fair. Shit. Dad, I've got to go. I will leave you with the package for now, if that's okay. And then I'll meet you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll meet you later.
If you wouldn't mind, I don't know any of the good places to eat, but I will come back here and we can, if you've made a reservation somewhere or if somebody makes a reservation, then we can.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there are so many good places. I know the best places. We'll meet here.
Peanuts at the Appenee it is. The Apologia.
The Apologia. We'll meet here, and and I sort of go to run off and then turn back like a fucking toddler, go and give him a massive hug, and just say it's good to see you, Dad.
It's very good to see you.
And then just start running. And my first portal call is Onricus's dorm, and just knocking on the door like rapidly. Is it you?
It's me, yeah.
Okay.
Cole would never answer the door like that.
I do not be alarmed. Just don't. My father's here, and I don't. Not about you at all. But I don't want you to. Are you okay?
This is my listening face.
Okay, cool. I thought, yeah. Anyway, it's got nothing to do with you. I have not spoken about you. I have not discussed you in any way, shape, or form. But if it's okay, I'd really love it if you didn't try and kill him as well. Just, he's my dad.
All right. You think very highly of me, but I'll try and refrain from killing your dad.
I mean, I just.
Is there been some kind of interplanar issue again? Why is your dad here?
I mean, just to see me.
That's nice.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I miss my parents too.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. We're going to
Where are you going to?
This feels bad. We're. I don't know.
Right.
What's going on? Are you having a seizure?
Bad prawns.
I'm
I hope-
gonna have a day out of the prison your family's at.
I hope that your. I hope the prom continued to be a delight for you.
What?
I don't know. Anra. We've very, very recently become more than people who glare at each other, and I don't want that to change. But I don't know what we are
that's
now.
What you say
so.
before you say something terrible to somebody. What?
No, not terrible. I'm gonna go.
All right.
Ripcord. Ow.
I was worried that you might be worried, but don't be worried.
Right. I'll just continue about my day.
Cracking.
Have a good time with your father.
What is cracking? Goodbye.
It was that face. Like that puppy. Oh my god. I was like,
Okay, I think that went well, and I go to Dodeca.
I thought you were either about to invite her to go.
Oh
to
God,
the
no,
Feywild, or invite her on holiday that you weren't gonna be at.
No, so my part of the kimono. My plan was to say, hey, we're going to the place that your parents might be. If I see them, do you want me to? And then I was like, oh, that's kind of like incredibly fancy racist.
It's fucked, mate.
It's also, I mean, this is another great moment of Hariath not really knowing a little bit of the truth and assuming the rest, because there are quite a few Fae fairs.
Yeah.
So you would have just handed it to a changeling.
That was fully the next point. Like that was the second kind of brain fart that I had, was like, oh, first of all, this is really rough because the whole all changelings know each other is not good. Then oh wait, there's like multiple of these things. I might just be going to entirely the wrong one. Oh shit, now I'm just looking like I've had a stroke. Oh my god. Like, anyway. I walk to Dodeca.
Okay.
Hello?
You're knocking onto your...
Why am I knocking on my own door? Hello, anyone?
Why are you knocking? We're all here.
Oh, hi. You're literally right there.
Yeah.
How are we?
Yeah, well, fine.
How are you?
You're like clenching your butt quite a lot. What's going on?
Yeah, I just had a really great conversation with Honra.
Honor met your dad?
No. That
Right.
was kind of the opposite. Like, I went to make sure that she was okay, that he was here. It's...
Why wouldn't she be?
What?
Why would a student have an issue with your dad being here?
That's not for me to say. Would you like to come to dinner
What?
tonight?
Is
Would
that
you
all of us or just Hazes?
No, everyone, and Kai as well.
You want us? Just you?
No, with my dad. He's...
Does he know who we are?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he still wants to meet us for dinner. Are we safe?
You are, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, just to be clear, is Ionra coming?
No,
Right.
no. Honor's not gonna be there. What?
What?
Hazes is going to
Shut up.
Right, your dad wants us all to go for dinner.
Yeah. I told him what you told me about my uncle.
Okay.
About what he said. And he believes it. He's my dad. He's
Your uncle?
What?
Yeah.
And now we retell the story again.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, where are we going?
The Apennine? No, that's a
sausage
really
roll night.
bad
It's not-
idea.
No.
That's such a terrible idea.
It's such a bad idea, especially because Kai, no offense, I nearly let it slip that you and Agatha were like dating. When I was telling them about what happened and mentioned Henry and stuff, I didn't know it, but Tracy's smart, so she might have caught on to something. And you two ain't been being that sneaky with it, so.
That's not. We're hiding it. It's just.
Agatha, I think it's time that they know, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's not. It's not that.
do they hate me? I mean, what's the?
No. They really like you, actually.
Well,
Or not.
it's mostly sort of the dangerous situations that you're now in, and like, it's sort of you're sort of like. I think at times you, Kai, are sort of like. You're the school in their head at times because you're like. Does that make sense? So it's not about you. It's about the school, but like sometimes it feels like it might be. I had to have a long conversation with your parents because you died.
You told my parents. You told my parents that I died. Now they're going to be like really worried and everything.
They were bloody worried in the first place. So of course I told your mum and dad that you died.
Oh, how much did my mum yell?
At me, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when she was being nice about it, she was yelling.
She's always yelling.
Pete said like nothing for the whole first like 2/3 of the conversation.
Alright, yeah.
But it's okay now. Like you should probably chat to them about it. But like,
Do we have to have a conversation? Can't like.
what?
It's just like.
Just talk to people. It's not that hard.
I think it's fine. I think he's okay. Besides being a hairy shitstick.
What are you on about?
It's an in joke.
See, this is what I didn't want to happen. We can't have like us and them, you know.
What are you talking about?
Here I once a
Speaking of us and them,
Yeah.
there is no us and them with my dad.
Okay.
I promise it's okay.
Yeah.
Where should we go? I kind of said I knew everywhere.
I just asked you that.
I'll suggest the place.
Oh, yeah.
Or...
The fanciest place you know in town is Utsok's Blessing, which is
Oh.
where it's the kind of nicest food in town.
Cool.
Do we want to go get like?
Oh, it's like, do we spend money on really nice food for your dad, or is it like wasted? Do you know what I mean?
I think you go and get a bunch of spicy, greasy food from the market.
Yeah,
and,
like
we
you might be able to
go
taste
somewhere
something.
else.
No, we should do fancy, right? He's like
But if you can't taste it, like fancy goo is nothing.
but
Like,
he's been around fancy stuff.
I mean, I didn't ask, but I think he'd be okay with paying for it. Like, we don't have to pay.
Then
Right.
fancy place it is.
that
I hope.
wasn't my point. My
Oh.
point was, if he can't taste it, what's the fucking point?
Oh,
We could taste it.
Because it's like the best that we've got to offer. You know, it's a sign of
You
respect.
know, some of those market stalls are really good. You know.
Well, look, Udon has stocked me up.
Shall we
so-
go like via Udon and see if they've got any kind of really cool
Do you think,
latest thing?
do you think
Maybe
Maybe
we
sauce
do.
are going to be okay with us whipping out our own sauces?
We can do it clever, like, you know.
Yeah. Like
I've got like you guys never see me when I top up my dagger with poison, but it's, you know.
it's just, you're not putting hot sauce in your dagger because
Although
That was really.
Ow! Ow!
It's not a big difference. Acid and hot sauce, you know.
I might
Right,
start
okay.
trying it. Yeah.
No. My point is, not everyone's as good with their hands as you, Nemmer. So, like, no, not everyone's gonna like feel.
I mean, we can. Gross, not really, but also, we
Grow
can
up,
just
you lot.
pass you up. I can't. I didn't have a dad.
Okay. Look, we'll
Yeah.
do a little bit of like dinner and stuff. I think probably next week. But you're now not going on the holiday. You're going to save Uncle instead.
I do also discuss that very briefly with you all.
Never is fucking livid.
Yeah, she's gonna be angry.
Just starts throwing pairs of boots at you.
I'll get you. We're going to the fair. I'll get you an owl bear.
It's not about the gifts, it's about the experience, Ariath. Bloody hell.
Hiraeth, one thing that I forgot to mention about when you left the sanatorium is when you went into your room, on your like desk where you usually do like your homework and stuff, your commemorative cups are lined up
Yeah.
on the desk. One of them has clearly been glued back together, and another one of them is not the like lightweight wood that and like pewter like fittings round it. One of them is clearly just made out of clay and like glazed, where he couldn't find the final one in the set, so he just made he was like rootling through. Johnny Beanbone was like tasked with finding your cups, your full set of cups, and couple of them were broken, so he glued them back together, and then the final one that he couldn't find, he just made out of clay and like painted it to the best of his ability.
Oh, buddy.
So you can still say that in your inventory you have a full set of commemorative cups, mostly wood, some wood and glue, and one clay.
That's
I'm
so
gonna
cute.
I'm gonna get him an honorary knighthood of the Fey
You're
realm.
gonna make him an honorary like club badger.
I know you didn't turn, but come join us.
Oh my god.
We love
We're taking Johnny on holiday.
Also,
instead now.
maybe after all this, but we need to have a talk about what's going on in that fucking pottery shop because it's something's going on.
Oh yeah,
But that's-
dodgy for sure. Like that guy, something's not right.
He's selling pot.
Very good. That's that kind of feels like post holiday next term shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I don't think he's doing anything dangerous. He sold me some very expensive pottery equipment for not a lot of money. So something's going on.
It's a fence. Clay fence. I tried.
Hey, maybe I haven't kind of looked into you said fence, like maybe it's Thieves Guild stuff.
Oh,
Might be.
I never looked into it here because I don't really like
clay
the Thieves
hand.
Guild.
are you gonna get into another secret?
Yeah,
Club?
that's why I
You
don't
can
really.
talk. You making your like shit badgers or whatnot.
Hey, you can be honorary
Why? What's the fucking
'Cause you-
point then?
because you clubbed a badger, right?
You killed Henry.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. But like, if you just keep making everyone honorary members, then everyone's a member.
I mean, you don't have to be an honorary member if you don't want to be an honorary member. I'm just giving you honorary membership, you know?
It feels a bit like nepotism, just because I'm your mate.
I mean, he's got a point. You know, what point do we stop?
These two.
And these two and Johnny being
and
joined.
and Hazes. Hazes
And
is allowed.
Hazes, so Hazes
Yeah.
can join.
And Johnny.
And like Pluto and
So
Big
it's
Bob,
badgers
can't
and
leave
friends. Is
I
what it
guess-
is.
Friends.
It's just everyone, mate.
I guess Mal and Bing Bong because they made me a badger. That's wrong.
They
I didn't
make
mean that.
you a badger, did they?
They yeah, no, it's fine. Anyway,
Right. We'll wrap there
Yes.
in that moment of absolute badger chaos.
I'm
A different
really
kind of badger
disappointed that we
chaos.
didn't get to do a "Don't Badger the Witness" pun. Great stream, guys.
Yeah.
Well done,
great.
everybody.
That
Low
was fun.
rolling, high role playing. But it was good to be able to kind of bring some much needed, like, filling out those final, like, those moments that we were all a bit shell shocked after last session, and to kind of give that a little bit of weight. So that's really good. Next session, Hollybobs.
Hollybobs on holiday.
Nothing bad is ever going to happen on holiday.
What could go wrong? We're having a session for it, so it was gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Scott,
You're
thank you
gonna
very much.
smash
Thank
that
you very
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining us. We're excited to be back. You know, getting into it. It's 2023,
Yeah.
baby.
And we're back.
And it's January the 4th. And you know what that means?
It's January the
Already
4th.
planning Charity Week.
Oh, yes. Big time, yes.
Good.
So get fucking excited.
Yeah.
We have plans for this year.
Yeah, we always
Like,
have that.
with a
When you
capital
say,
P.
I like that how you say we. Like it's not.
Charity Week is a thing I force. They like the charity part. It's the actual week that we do that sort of is. But no, like I mean, like we have plans for Wicked Game this year. That's like beyond
lots of
an exciting new
things,
campaign.
isn't it?
It's like new stuff.
Yeah.
It's new
We got
stuff.
things in the pipeline.
Yeah.
We've got a pipeline, guys.
Finally, got pipeline.
I've certainly got one.
Oh. Right, well, on that
Yeah.
on that note, we will see you next week.
Same
Wicked
time.
Wednesday.
Same place.
Wicked
Yep.
Wednesday.